countryside, lay back and smell the sun, warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good.
Welcome into Sports 56 Middays. Let's all say goodbye to July. It's the final day of the month of July. It's the July 31st, 2019 edition of Sports 56 Middays, live from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Austin Eldridge with you over the course of the next 3 hours. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. Make the most out of your e-commerce experience by finding insights and inspiration from other small business owners. You can learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. And as always, we are live and local. We'd love to hear from you on the program. Many different ways to get in touch with us. First, you can do so via the First Bank text line at 67129. First Bank phone lines at 360-8255, and message us at Sports56WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Coming up on the program today at 10:25, Doug Barron will join us. Just a remarkable story with Doug Barron, a former PGA Tour player, out of golf, was instructing as an instructor here in the area, which he continues to be, but now he's found the fountain of youth. Turned 50 years old, Champions Tour, and the way he qualified for the Open Championship was amazing. Gets in there and ties for fifth in the Senior Open Championship. Doug Barron on the program today at 10:25. At 11:25, Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network will get the latest on not only the Cardinals, but Major League Baseball on this trade deadline Wednesday. Yes, today is the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Some moves were made yesterday, not a ton of them yet. We'll see if there's a rash of moves made today, but Mike will give us the lowdown on the Cardinals, who knocked off Eli's Cubs yesterday behind a Paul Goldschmidt home run, yet another one. And then at 12:30, we'll have our four-man scramble. Keith Penke, Jay Hasselman will join us. We'll obviously talk a little bit about what happened last week here in Memphis with the WGC, but also make our picks for the Wyndham Championship this week on the PGA Tour. We got dinner and a movie, your chance to win a terrific prize package. We'll wrap it up with one final thing. So last night, Eli, I've watched the first two seasons, but I did not watch the third or the fourth of Last Chance U. So I started to do binge watching the last 2 days. So I'm watching season 3, where they go to Independence. And you've seen it, I assume, right?
I have not seen the new season that just came out, but I've seen the...
So you saw the third season?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. I had no idea how crazy this coach was, Jason Brown, who now I have found out that not only was he fired, or I guess he says resigned because of what he said to the German player about Hitler, but now is facing all types of felony charges for things as he tried to basically steal the identity of, I think it was an attorney, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, wow, I can't stop watching it. It's incredible.
Oh, it's a great show. I've talked about it many times. Yeah, it's a fantastic show. And every season of it just there's interesting stories. And it's always interesting seeing some of these guys who you see on there and where they end up in college or whatever. And I know the Raiders just cut one of the guys that was on there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's always it's a, I mean, and as I've said this before, like the world of junior college football it's an interesting world from some of the stuff that these coaches have to deal with, and because a lot of these guys they're really talented, but they just don't care about classwork or anything other than they just want to play football and they want to do it their way, and they just don't want to be coached. They literally just don't want to be coached, some of those guys.
But even the coaches themselves, the battle between Jason Brown, who used to coach under the guy from, is it Garden City? And their episode, which I forget which episode of the third year was that team playing Independence, and how it turned out at the end where it was almost just a giant melee. incredible. The things that Jason Brown says that probably would get most coaches fired. It's astounding. But here's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, Brown the year prior, when it was not on television, when it was not a Netflix deal, they won their conference championship. And they came into this, his second year, but the first year of independence on Last Chance U, as the favorite to repeat in the conference and to possibly win a national championship. And all it's been is bad.
No, he did a great job originally turning their program around. And that's why they kind of fell in love with him. He is very brash and everything else, but they liked him because he came in, they had been terrible, and he got him winning. And that remains at any level of sport. If you could come into a place that hasn't won and you win, you can get away with a lot of stuff that you can't get away with otherwise.
Exactly. But it makes me think that while the cameras were not on him, he turned the program around and they won the conference title. While the cameras were on him and these players, they've gone down the old toilet. At least what I'm watching so far in season number 3. So I don't know if you can equate those two. How has Hard Knocks done over the years? The teams that have been on Hard Knocks, how have they turned out? Has anybody kept a record of that? How the teams did during the season? It may be a little different when you're a professional, you're an adult, you've got families, and may look at it differently. But these kids, in my opinion, are absolutely affected by the cameras. They already have their problems, like you said. They already have their issues, whether it's in school, whether they got into criminal activity, and they're getting, obviously, the last chance. But I think the cameras, which make it very entertaining for us because we're in there. We see it. We're in the houses, and we're in the dorm rooms, and we're in the huddles. But I think it ruined that team. And it ruined these players because they're playing for the cameras. They're not only playing for the scholarships, which is obvious to try to get the D1, but normally you could play for your scholarships, your stats, and everything and still be a team player and play for the team. This team is discombobulated, which I think is because of the cameras. But it is so entertaining, I can't stop watching it. So those who have seen it probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Those who have not seen it, you really need to do so. I think there's now 4 seasons. This is the 4th season right now, if I'm not mistaken. And it started with Northeast, right? Mississippi. Is that right?
Is it North? It's East Mississippi, just East Mississippi, right?
East Mississippi?
I can't remember what. Yeah, but yeah, it was. They had 2 seasons there, and then
that's right.
Then they went to Independence, and this is the second year. The one that they just came out with the new season here recently. The second season at Independence.
But unbelievable. So anyway, I got a kick out of watching about 6 episodes straight yesterday. There is news from the NFL this morning. Michael Thomas, one of the holdouts in the NFL. There's probably 4 or 5 of them around the NFL. Michael Thomas gets an extension, and it's a whopper. According to reports, the Saints and Michael Thomas agree to a 5-year, $100 million extension. That will include $61 million of it guaranteed. All this guy has done the first 3 years of his career is make 321 catches, so averaging well over 100 catches per year. Last year had 125 catches for 1,405 yards. He gets a pay raise of 1,700%. Not bad if you can get it, right?
Yeah, he's going to make basically 1.15 million this coming season. And then he's now locked in for 61 million guaranteed over the next 5, which is, again,
through 2024. Exactly.
Good for him. Meaning, again, I think these NFL rookie deals are unfair for the most part. We'll see what effect this one has on Julio Jones.
Oh, it'll have an effect.
Amari Cooper and others. There's a group of these receivers. It's the most guaranteed money for a non-quarterback offensive player. So the Saints are clearly seeing the value in him. Does that mean these other teams will fork over that type of money for their receivers? I don't know. The Cowboys are in. The Cowboys, in my opinion, can't give Amari Cooper that type of money, but because they can't give all of these guys the money they want, and if they're going to pay Dak an obscene amount of money that he doesn't deserve, then if you pay Amari Cooper, then you're going to lose the most important guy and the best player in Ezekiel Elliott.
The wide receivers around the league that are considered the best, and you know the bunch from DeAndre Hopkins to Julio Jones. I know A.J. Green's hurt right now, but certainly considered one of the best out there. Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr. These guys are all getting their money. They're all getting their money because they are still star power, productive players. Now, the Cowboys situation is rough because you're right. You can't pay Dak, Zeke, and Cooper. You can't pay them all. I mean, pay them all. So in order, who's the most important guy of those three to be paid? It would have to be the quarterback.
No. I just said it. Ezekiel Elliott is the best of those three. He's by far the most important player on that team.
You are going against the grain because we know how owners feel about running backs. The shelf life of running backs is not long. Your quarterback, if you have what you consider the franchise quarterback, you have to pay him. You have to pay your quarterback.
But he's not that good. That's my point.
But what is what is Jerry Jones? Who cares about what Julio Jones thinks? What does Jerry Jones think?
I've talked about this many times. Jerry loves Dak. Jerry's going to make the mistake of giving Dak $30 million a year, and then they're screwed.
Well, are you going to say that you have a better insight of what is more beneficial for the Cowboys than Jerry Jones? A lifer in this business? He feels that he's got...
Do you think Jerry's never made bad decisions at the quarterback position especially?
Well, and you're going to say that you're making the right one? He is a running back.
It's anybody with eyes can tell you who has made that offense.
I'm not saying that they should pay Dak that kind of money. All I'm saying is if they believe Dak Prescott, if they believe, the ones who pay him, believe that he is a franchise quarterback, you have to pay the quarterback over the running back. It's happened for history. For the entire history of the NFL.
I'm not saying I'm telling you what they should do based on what's right, because anybody with two eyes can tell you that Dak is the better player.
No, you're saying Zeke.
Zeke is the better player. And one is $30 million a year, the other is way less than that.
Look, again, I think it would be nice if you're able to make both of them and Cooper happy, and then the Cowboys would be set. But you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to pay all three.
There wouldn't be set, because if they paid, I'm telling you, even if they fight, it means you down. Paying Dak Prescott $30 million a year is going to be a mistake.
Well, why do you have to pay him $30 million a year?
Because that's what the market is telling you for a starting quarterback right now. They're talking about $33 million a year. It's the way it goes. The next guy gets the next more money.
Well, that receiving the deal Michael Thomas just got has set the tone for receivers in the market, for great receivers. Cooper is not quite that level, but he is still a quality wide receiver that I think the move to get the first round pick that they gave up that you didn't like, I think is still a good move. To get Cooper.
Why? Why is it a good move when you're going to have to pay him a bunch of money now? That's the whole point. That's why that move was terrible, because you're immediately getting a guy that you have to pay a bunch of money while you're trying to pay a running back and a quarterback.
But you act like no other teams are spending money. You have to spend money on your stars, and then you have to be good in the draft. You have
give me the Super Bowl winners who were spending a bunch of money on the quarterback position that year.
The New England Patriots are weird. They are.
Tom Brady doesn't make that much money.
I know.
That's why they're winning.
Because he's willing to not have to take.
That's what I'm saying. Paying Dak Prescott $30 million, you're never going to win a Super Bowl.
Well, let me tell you something. Dak Prescott and other quarterbacks of his ilk are in the majority. Tom Brady is a unique human being and football player. First of all, he doesn't need the money. He has a supermodel wife. He's made enough as it is. She makes more than him. So he's willing to take the discount because he knows what they need to win. It is a proven commodity, the Patriots. Throw the Patriots out because you can't model yourself after the Patriots. They're very, very unique at what they do. So if you look around the league, what is it? You're paying one or two or three players, and then you're trying to find the right fits around those star players, mostly via the draft. And then when those guys have to get paid, you're usually losing one or two of them, or having to pay them. But all the teams are in the same boat as the Cowboys. If you want to be successful, then if you don't think they can be successful by paying Dak and Zeke and then having other guys around them, then that's the fault of management for not being able to draft correctly. Because every team is in the same boat.
But that's my whole point.
Dak and Zeke aren't that good. They're not that good.
Well, Zeke is. I disagree that Zeke is really good. Zeke's one of the best running backs in the league. Easily.
He only scored 6 touchdowns last year, though.
Zeke is one of the best running backs in the league. He is. That's bottom line. Dak is a at best middle of the pack quarterback. I believe he's bottom third in the league as far as starting quarterbacks go.
Do you agree though?
My whole point that trading Amari Cooper, now you're paying Amari Cooper. You're going to have to pay him to keep him. You could have drafted a receiver in the first round this year that would be making way less money that you would be getting, that you could get the same production out of. Well, that's the whole point.
Well, again,
why draft? I talk about the fact that these first round contracts are terrible. All rookie contracts are terrible for the player. You should want that over the guy who's getting to the end of his rookie contract that you have to pay.
Unless you believe that receiver, in this case Amari Cooper, is going to produce much more than those rookie wide receivers are. Look, everything's a gamble. If you're going to spend money on
there's good
veteran
and
players, well, again, but that's your opinion. We just heard Austin's opinion that he doesn't believe either one is that good. I can have an opinion as well. It only matters what Jerry Jones and his people believe. And if they believe Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback, then they're going to have to pay them. I think we're in agreement with that. If you believe you have a franchise quarterback, you have to pay him, right?
Well, that's the way that it works.
So
that could be wrong, though.
No, I'm not saying it's absolutely 100% right. I'm just saying if they believe it's right.
And they do. And they're going to make the mistake of believing that.
Then they have to follow through. If Gettleman and who's Shermer? Who's the coach with the Giants?
Shermer.
Yeah.
Shermer, right? So Gettleman and Shermer, they believe Eli's good for the next 3 years, and everybody else disagrees. They can only go with the way they feel. They believe. It could end up being wrong. Every move, like you said, every move by the front office and by ownership is not always right, and we may not always agree. But if they believe it, then I can't fault anyone if my owner of the team that I root for believes that that's the guy. I might have an issue, but he makes the bottom line, and it's his decision. There's nothing I can do about it.
So you can't criticize that? Or?
No, you can criticize.
I don't know what
you can criticize it, but what I'm saying is I have more faith in football people than I do in you, me, Austin, or fans.
Okay, well, you don't like your manager of the Phillies. The baseball people chose him.
Right.
You got to believe in him.
Right. No, I criticize that. But I'm saying I
trust baseball people more than you on the opinion of a manager.
Yeah, but this has nothing.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense. I don't have to accept it. But I mean, I don't have to like it, but I have to accept it. That's who they have right now. I'm not happy they do. I'm hoping they make a move. I'm hoping they learn from their mistake, and they're not paying $30 million a year to have Gabe Kapler as a manager. This is a critical move for the Cowboys. And I understand as a Cowboys fan why you are so up in arms about this thing. And look, I don't know how good Dak Prescott can be. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. But I also have worries about running backs. Their shelf life, one knee injury, they're done, man. I don't want to spend a big bulk of my money on a running back. I don't, because I think running backs are replaceable. I really do. Even a productive running back like Zeke, you can replace him. Even a running back that's, a superstar down the road, production-wise, you can replace them. So I'm more willing to give the money to the quarterback. But
the quarterback's going to be twice at least the money, probably close to 3 times the money for the quarterback.
But the quarterback's more important. The quarterback's the most important player on the field.
Dak is very replaceable. There are a lot of quarterbacks that can do what Dak Prescott does.
And therein lies the issue. If he's a guy that's 1 in a million, you pay him. If he's a guy that's just a regular Joe, then you don't. But it's their decision. Again, it is your prerogative to like it or not. But I have faith, more than not, in my ownership team, management team, that they're making the right decision. We got to make a right decision here. We have to take a break. When we come back, we'll switch gears. Doug Barron, an amazing story. He will join us next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Hey everybody, the All-Star Chevy Challenge is here. And I'm telling you, if it's a new Chevy you want, Olive Branch is the place to go, people. Take your best written deal from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to our friends at All-Star Chevrolet, and they will beat it. Or they're going to give you a free tank of gas for the win. So now that I got your attention, yes, July is All-Star Challenge month, when you get to let All-Star Chevy beat that deal on any new Chevy or even pre-owned vehicle you want. Just take the official written deal from any other Chevy dealer, not that one your friend wrote down at the bar, and take it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. It's that simple. Not only that, they have the best testing ground of any other Chevy dealership, and when you head to All-Star Chevy, you know you got the best deal. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch and take the All-Star Challenge. Not in South Haven, it's gotta be Olive Branch. Or go to allstarautogroup.com right now and be amazed by all the hot new Chevys and pre-owned vehicles they have in stock. Don't miss the All-Star Chevy Challenge. You will thank me later.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motorhome Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays. 10:27 is the time. A little bit later on in the program, we'll talk Cardinals, Major League Baseball trade deadline, which is today with Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network. But right now, as promised, as we were enjoying the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational and everything that came with it, and Brooks Koepka winning the title, it was an amazing week in Memphis. We were keeping an eye on a good friend in Memphian, Doug Barron, whose story was amazing last week. He was able to qualify to get into the Senior Open Championship. And then you thought, well, it's his first event. He just turned 50. How well will Doug play? He's been playing some golf and he's been doing well, but now this is the big time. And all Doug Barron did was go over to England and tie for 5th in the Senior Open Championship. An amazing story. We're very happy for Doug. You can follow him on Twitter at Doug Barron Golf. Doug Barron joining us now on Sports 56 Middays. Doug, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Man, doing fantastic. Congratulations on what had to be just an incredible week for you.
Yeah, it's a very emotional week.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine after everything that you've been through. Can you take us back? I know you've been playing. You've been playing on some of these smaller tours, and you've been doing well. But why all of a sudden, Doug, did the light bulb go on and say, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go over there and try to qualify." It's not like you're trying to go to Kentucky or Alabama and drive there to qualify for an event. You fly over to England. Why did you decide? Yeah, I'm going to try this.
Well, a long story short, I've been playing the Emerald Coast Tour, just a small tour my buddy owns down in Florida, and there's 15 to 30 guys playing. And the reason I went to play some of those events is just to be in contention more, and not to be arrogant, but I can't beat 120 of these kids anymore. But I feel like I can go down and beat 15 to 30 of them. And so literally, I've won 3 of them from start to finish, and it's been nice to get playing under the nerves. And I felt like it kind of sped up my process of getting better. And then I've been working with a gentleman in Shreveport, Louisiana, that's helped get my confidence back with my driver. And then I was actually getting my passport redone to go to Canada in a few weeks to qualify. But I looked and I saw, well, the British Senior Open's the day after my birthday. And then I called a friend up. I said, would you price the trip for me? And he priced the trip, and I said, heck with it. I've been playing good golf. It's crazy not to go. I'm going. I said, because I've been dreaming for 3 years. I don't have great status out there. So, I mean, my goal is to win a major because it would change my life and give me a couple years instead of just winning a regular event out there. So I was like, might as well get started. And my wife said, go for it. So I went over there.
Can you kind of take us through what you mentioned, obviously playing and getting your golf game back, but what you had to go through, injuries and all of that, to kind of get back into your game of golf the way it is?
Right. I had my best year in 2005, and I found out my right shoulder was torn, and I had surgery, and I may have come back a little early. I'd had 2 top 10s in '06, and was playing in a lot of pain, and then I got an MRI and found out it was re-torn, and then in the process, my left shoulder was popping a lot, and I found out it was torn in 3 places. So I ended up having 3 surgeries in a row, went 13 months without touching a golf club, got out of shape, got depressed a lot, quite frankly. Memphis basketball was the only thing that kept me halfway afloat. But anyways, when I came back, I didn't get physically fit enough and wasn't mentally fit enough, and it was a disaster trying to come back. And then, 5 years later, I think I fired myself. So kind of needed to walk away from the game. One, just I wasn't supporting my family. I was spending all our life savings, and I wasn't making any money. And 2, I was kind of bitter towards the game. I mean, it wasn't the way I wanted to go out. So I decided, hey, I need to go work for a living. So
I would imagine then during those times, the tough times for you and the family, thinking even Champions Tour when you turned 50 was probably out of the question at that point when you were trying to figure out whether or not you wanted to play the game anymore.
Right. I started teaching because I started teaching golf, and I taught for 6 years and did pretty well at it. But I knew if I started to like golf again because I started to see where I could help people, and I had a great opportunity come along. A friend of mine I started working for got me in his credit card processing business, and that kind of gave me an avenue out of the teaching. And in that time, I was starting to play really good golf again, and decided to start playing a few tournaments. I'd play 1 or 2 tournaments a year in that 5 years, nothing serious. And then, 2 years ago, I decided to really commit to it. But my dad's been really sick and has Parkinson's and dementia, and he's in hospice care now, and couldn't quite fully commit 2 years ago. I played like 9 events, but this year he's been in a better place, and it helped me. When he started hospice care, it was awesome because they took him off like one medicine, and he's like, we carry on great conversations again. And so that's been great. And so I said, I'm committing to playing. I've played literally 10 events this year, including our state open where I got into the final pairing with Bob Walcott's 2 sons. Yeah. And it was a great learning day though. So just been playing and getting confidence, winning events from start to finish. Like I said, even though they're small, big confidence builders, but still can't quite prepare you when you get back against your peers that you played with out on the PGA Tour for all those years. But I had a unique set of events happen last week that I think really prepared me. So it was cool. So I showed up at the course where I was qualifying, and my old friend Wes Short, who was already exempt in the tournament, he's kept his card out on the seniors for 4 or 5 years, and he goes, Dougie, come join us. I literally hit 5 balls after flying all the way there, driving another hour and a half to get to the course. Hit 5 balls and went and played 9 holes. I was exhausted, but I needed to just stay awake so I could sleep that night. And so, but I hit it great. I was like, good grief, and this was awesome. And I could only make it 9. They played the back. Well, the next day I played with my old friend Gibby Gilbert, who's from Chattanooga.
Mhm.
He won the Q School for the Champions Tour last year. And then my friend Tom Gillis that plays out there, he's like 40th on the money list and played pretty good that day. And I was like, man, I can play with these guys again. So, you never really know. I've been playing with all these kids that, maybe not know how to finish it off or do all the stuff. And I feel like I got a little advantage over them if I can just hang with them for a while. But now you're playing with guys that got the same experience you do, and you want to see if you can get your games as good. But just in the practice rounds, it helped me with confidence. And then on my birthday, I got, when I was registering, I saw where my friend Dickie Pride and Joe Durant were playing and Scott Farrell, and they didn't have a 4, so I signed my name up and then saw them on the range. And we had a nice little game the next day. Me and Dickie played those two, Scott Farrell and Joe Durant, who are both Scott's 4th on the money list, been a good friend for a long time. And Dickie and I just put it to them, so that was fun. And but it was kind of just a series of events as I got there. It was just like things were just falling into place where when the tournament started, I wasn't really overwhelmed because, my dream, I've been dreaming, I've literally been watching Royal Lytham and St. Anne's for a month on YouTube, watching the course, but also I've been preparing myself because I need to win a major. Honestly, I can't just, this be the easiest road for me to secure a job. So that was my mentality. I kind of went over there where this is my destiny anyway. So I even though I was medalist in the qualifier, I had to make 3 putts on the last 3 holes to literally, if I don't make those 3 putts, I end up missing by 1.
Wow.
So it's just crazy what a small margin it was. But I literally, every time something bad would happen, I just say, "Damn, Doug, it's your destiny." And literally, we can talk that, but I've put in a lot of work the last few years to get to this point. So it didn't surprise me at all or my wife. I think it was just overwhelming that people go, "Oh my gosh, he's going to go over there in Monday qualifying," and he, honestly, has a chance to win. I mean, standing in the 15th fairway, if I could take back one shot for the week, it'd be that one shot I hit. I was right dead in the middle of the fairway. I'd outdriven Colin Montgomery by 30 yards, and I just hit the worst shot of my life. And it was just it wasn't an easy shot. It was obviously that the weather was horrendous.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was having a blast, and it kind of flustered me on the next hole, and I had my only 3-putt of the week, but it was a great experience. It doesn't really get me anything moving forward. I've got to keep earning my way out there, but it's just been overwhelming how supportive everybody's been, and I'm glad that I'm home. But man, I wouldn't trade that week for my whole life. It was a pretty good 50th birthday.
That's so that finish gives you nothing as far as the next tour event. Like you still have to go try and Monday qualify if you want to get in another one.
The Champions Tour is set up a little different than other tours. Their theory is you can't top 10 into a major and you can't top 10 your way out. So I did call the tournament director yesterday at Dick's Sporting Goods, and he goes, "Doug, I wanted to give you an exemption right when you finished." He was so nice. We had a great conversation, but I mean, unfortunately, Jack Nicklaus is going to the next tournament. He's never been, and his son's getting an exemption, and then Fred Couples is playing up there for the first time, and he's got one of his buddies an exemption. And I'm only eligible for 2 of the exemptions right now. I'm not a tour member again yet. I gave up my tour membership when I went to teach at Southwind a few years ago, and because I haven't been back to Q School, I don't have my tour membership, so I'm only eligible for 2 exemptions every week. But today I'm going to be making contact with the other 5 events left, and my friend David Toms, who I played college golf with, is going to help me as well. And we're just going to see if we can get 1 or 2, and I'm confident I can go qualify into a couple. So we're going to see how it goes. And my goal is just, obviously I want to win one, but I mean, if I can get into the Charles Schwab Cup playoffs, that would be huge. I think I can keep playing my way through it. So I'm just kind of I'm just kind
you're
of taking
grinding.
it one day at a time.
You're grinding. That's exactly what you're doing,
What's
Doug.
there as far as to be able for next year? Like, what do you have to finish, or how does that work to try and earn status for next year?
Yeah, the top 36 get fully exempt. So I'm just in that one tournament. I moved up to 82nd on the money list. Top 36 would be far-fetched, but obviously my goal is to win. I've trained myself to win this last year, and if I could just get in one, I'm not being cocky or arrogant, but I think I can get in contention again. That's the whole goal. So I'm not putting any pressure on myself, but I am gonna make sure I'm gonna try my heart out to get a spot in some of these next events coming up. So,
and if you win one of the events, that gets you an exemption for next year. Is that how it works?
It gets you a 1-year exemption. That's basically it. But at least it would get me in the system again. You know,
Yeah, right.
So, and if I finish in the top 10 in one of these normal events, I can go to the next event if I'm the low guy without any status. They only take one guy out of the top 10 gets into the next event. So that would have been me this past week. So it is what it is.
And
it's
then
crazy that a major doesn't allow you to do that.
I know.
But a normal event
I thought he had it because.
Well, I told that to David Toms yesterday. I said, this is stuff you've never had to worry about because you've made so much money and you've done so well. He goes, I just can't even believe it. He's on like our PAC committee on that tour, and he's like, that's the first thing I'm talking about the next time we have a meeting. He just couldn't believe it. You know, we worked with the same teacher down in Shreveport, and he was beside himself. You know, for me, I mean, I was like, you know, whatever. So
now, if you don't win one of these tournaments, don't get in the top 36, all that stuff, there is Q School for the Champions Tour, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, that's a given. If I can keep playing well, I'll get exempt through the first little stage. But if not, there's a regional, and then the finals will be in Scottsdale this year. But there's literally only 5 spots available. And I tell this story all the time. One of my dear friends, Craig Bowden, got in a playoff last year and lost in the playoff, and literally you get nothing. There's 5 spots or nothing, and that's not the way I want to go. My goal is to get out there before the Q School. That's been the goal since I turned 50, and that's why I went ahead and flew over there. Because if I'm going to make this happen, I need every opportunity. And quite frankly, I thought that major field could, you know, I thought it wasn't every top player from America didn't go this year. So I felt like if I could just get in the tournament, I felt like I could have a chance, you know. So
well, you did.
Yeah.
What is it like playing, by the way, with Monty over there?
Well, I'm a huge Colin Montgomery fan for the first thing, and he couldn't have been better. They love him over there, but I mean, he's amazing. He hits it so damn straight off the tee. I outdrove him all day, but I mean, he had a bad day. He birdied 16 and 18, and he plays fast like me. A couple times he would walk off the green after he putted, and like one hole was like a 300-yard walk, and he could hear the crowd clapping when I made the putt. He'd say good putt when I got to the tee, and he'd already be on the next tee. But he you know, he's a legend. He's the all-time greatest European tour player. He's probably my 3rd favorite European tour player of all time. I'm a huge fan. I've always been a fan. I think he's an amazing talent. So, and I'm glad. I told him. I said, I'm glad you're over here playing the Champions Tour because I think it's huge for you to be over here. So,
and I saw you post a picture with Tom Watson, who of course was playing his
my
final
favorite
one.
player of all time, Tom Watson.
Me too.
That had to be cool.
Yeah, man, he brought tears to my eyes. I walked in. I tell a Tom Watson story all the time. He doesn't drink anymore, but in 1997, I went to the Greenbrier to play an outing, and I saw Tom Watson drinking scotch over there, and I didn't really like scotch, but I went over and had way too much and hung with him all night. And it's probably the worst I've ever felt in the morning, but my dad drank a lot of scotch. So he congratulated me. I said, well, I wasn't going to bother you for the picture, but since you congratulated me, it's your last Open, I got to get a pic with you, Tom. And he's just so awesome. I mean, he was my childhood hero as well. I loved him. I think either a Watson or Nicklaus fan. I love them both now, but I was all Watson when I was a kid, man. So.
Well, there's the old saying, a new lease on life, and you got a new lease on your golf life, Doug. We're so happy for you. We're looking forward to watching every time you get into a tournament now to see how well you'll do. But I think it was an amazing story. In the midst of everything that was going on here in Memphis with the WGC, we had an eye on what was going on in England. So congratulations on that, Doug, and best of luck moving forward. I'm sure we'll be talking to you down the road.
Well, I look forward to it, and I really appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Doug Barron. You can watch or you can follow him on Twitter at Doug Barron Golf. I just think it's an amazing story. Probably would have got it got enough play. I mean, as far as I think Calkins did a story on him. We've been talking about him. Other shows, I'm sure, talking about him. But if Memphis did not have the event last week, you know how local television sportscasts are. They follow and they cover everything that's happening to local people, and they would have been on top of this thing as much as they could. But it was overshadowed, and understandably so, by the WGC. But what Doug Barron did, tied for 5th in the Open, Senior Open Championship, and yet that does not get him in another tournament. It's amazing.
Crazy. Like the literally, like he said, if that would have been the whatever is the next one, the Dick's Sporting Goods Open,
right?
He gets on. It would be in the next tournament automatically. But because it's the British Open, one of the majors, it does not. I don't even I don't even understand how that would possibly be the rule. Like,
right.
I assume for sure that, okay, at least gets him into one tournament. I was thinking that will at least get you into the next tournament. You top 10 in a tournament, you certainly got to be in the next tournament. No, because it's a major. We don't do that for majors.
Can't even imagine the rules committee and the conversations that were had by the people that make these decisions. We're not going to give exemptions into the Dick's Sporting Goods event from the Senior Open Championship. That does not make any sense. Folks, Davis Motorhome Mart makes a lot of sense. If you are looking at a motorhome down the line, maybe right now you're in the market for a motorhome, we have a place here in Memphis that's been around for a long time, that's family owned and operated. And people from around the country and even from Canada come to Memphis because of the amazing motorhomes that they have and the amazing deals that they can get. It's Davis Motorhome Mart at 1145 East Brooks Road here in Memphis. You can go online to find out more about them at davismotorhome.com. You can call them at 901-332-3414. When you do, tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. Over 7.5 acres of beautiful travel trailers, motorhomes, fifth wheels, toy haulers, towable half tons, motorhomes ranging from 27 feet up to 45 feet in length, with all the big-name brands like Winnebago, Coachman, Puma, Highland Ridge, and Tiffin. In fact, they're a top 10 Tiffin dealer in the entire United States. Right now, they're trying to make room for their 2020s, which are rolling in, so they got a big blowout sale going on all the brand-new 2019s. Leave the stress at home. Get away and travel to your favorite cities across this great country of ours in a beautiful motorhome from Davis Motorhome Mart. Again, it's davismotorhome.com. You can check out the beautiful motorhomes on the website. Call them again at 901-332-3414 or just visit them at 1145 East Brooks Road in Memphis. We'll take a timeout, come back with more Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Is your air conditioning system ready for the hot Memphis summer? Good news, it's spring cleaning time at Conway Services. We'll come out and perform our exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your air conditioning system for only $69. Did you know the number one cause of air conditioning system breakdown is dirt? A dirty air conditioning system can literally starve the life from your home's cooling system, causing untimely breakdowns, higher utility costs, and even premature equipment failure. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system, making sure you're ready for the hot Memphis summer, all for only $69. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash. Plus, right now, we'll treat your air conditioner with a special Teflon coating to help protect against the hot Memphis sun. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511 and call this week and we'll perform your super tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
We could stay here forever. We deliver olives, Greek sandals, and everything you need to relive that perfect trip to the Mediterranean. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Memories. What we deliver by delivering.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance. Ford Pass rewards And now, when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motorhome Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back in the Family Leisure Studios. Going back to what we were talking about earlier with the Cowboys and contracts and all of that good stuff. John says, I would make sure my offensive line is paid well since they're trying to protect me. That's been my problem with the Cowboys, is what's going to end up happening if they pay these guys that they have to pay. It will come at the expense of losing all of their all-pro offensive linemen, and that's why they will be in trouble. Because you can't pay everybody. And they've got 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen that are all going to want to be paid too. And if you pay Amari Cooper, you pay Dak Prescott, you pay Zeke, and you've already paid DeMarcus Lawrence, you can't pay them.
So do you think that you can win with an average quarterback? Because any quarterback you bring in there of substance is going to demand money. So you can pay your offensive lineman, fantastic. That's great. But you got to pay your quarterback. So you think an average quarterback, you can win the Super Bowl. The Cowboys will win the Super Bowl.
I don't care. You got to have a low-paid quarterback. That's what you got to have to win the Super Bowl.
Maybe they can get one of their coaches, Kellen Moore, and get him back into a uniform and let him play. I mean, come on. You have to... You're going to pay quarterbacks no matter who they are.
The formula to win a Super Bowl is proven. You have to get a quarterback who's not making much money yet and it is exceeding his pay level.
But
that's how you win Super Bowls. It's proven.
But wait, it's proven because Tom Brady decided that he was going to take.
Look at every quarterback that's ever won the Super Bowl. That was all before they got the big payday.
Eli Manning wasn't paid.
He may have been one of the highest.
Peyton Manning wasn't paid.
No,
he took a discount. He took less money to play.
That's the whole point.
You're not going
if you're paying a guy $30 million, you won't win the Super Bowl.
But you're only going to look at the quality of look at the guys who won Super Bowls: Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers.
All before they got paid. Since they got paid, have they won? No.
So you don't pay them? So you wouldn't have given Aaron Rodgers that type of money or Drew Brees that type of money?
I mean, it's just the way it's hard. It makes it impossible to win the Super Bowl. Because you can't pay. You're going to sacrifice guys around them.
But you got to pay to keep Drew Brees. You have to pay, and the numbers, the statistics are still there for all these great quarterbacks. No, it's not the easiest thing to win a Super Bowl, and it's not always all on the quarterback. They shouldn't get all the glory and shouldn't always get the blame, but they always seem to do so. And again, look
at what's happened to Seattle since Russell Wilson started getting paid. Everybody's gone. The whole defense is gone. Everybody's gone. I mean, once you start paying that guy, it just all the other guys start falling off, and you can't keep that level.
So you would want to get rid of those quarterbacks. There is
a good argument to be made that the formula is draft a quarterback, write out his rookie deal, and when he's done, if he's ready to get paid $30 million a year, you let him go. You draft another one. You can make the argument that that's the way to do it in the NFL because the teams that win the Super Bowl are usually with quarterback. Unless you can get that guy and say, listen, here's the deal. If you want to keep winning, you're going to have to accept less money.
Look, I know it's not as important in the NFL than it is in the NBA with star power as far as selling the merchandise, selling everything that goes with running a franchise. Usually stars bring out dollars, right? It happens in the NBA everywhere. In the NFL, not as much. But if you establish a quarterback, he wins a Super Bowl in his rookie deal, and now he wants to get paid, you're going to have a lot of irate fans if you have all of a sudden decide to deal that quarterback, deal that star power, deal a guy who's won a Super Bowl, and bring in a mediocre quarterback. Nobody's going to accept that. They're going to think you're absolutely out of your gore to do something like that.
Why has he got to be a mediocre quarterback? You're drafting another quarterback. You just draft the next guy like that. You got to draft the next Russell Wilson instead of paying the current Russell Wilson.
But you know how hard it is to hit on that thing continuously?
But
you have a proven commodity.
Do you know how hard it is to win the Super Bowl with paying that guy?
Yeah, but they don't know when they are signing, when the quarterback is up now for his big deal, right? They just want, by your thought process, they win a Super Bowl, they're in their bubble of their rookie contract. Now they're ready to get paid. You're saying dump that quarterback and bring somebody else in because you've seen history, right? But it doesn't mean that they're not thinking, well, Aaron Rodgers won in his rookie deal or whatever it is to win a Super Bowl in Green Bay. We think he's going to win another 2 or 3. We have to pay him. Plus, he's become a star. He's a name. We're not going to deal him.
I understand, but I'm just saying there's an argument to be made that and it's very easy just by looking at history, that once the guy is ready to get paid, you should get rid of him and go draft the next one to keep all of the guys around him.
Yeah, but think about this with New England. Do you believe that if Tom Brady did not and has not, let's say he's taken full opportunity of getting paid max, whatever they can pay him, they would not be in the same boat.
No,
that's what
not
you're
even
saying.
Close.
Even though the players around Tom Brady are not stars for the most part, they are role players that end up playing a huge role. These wide receivers,
but there would still be some of them that would be sacrificed if he was making that much money.
There would maybe not those guys, but there would be some that would be sacrificed on the team, but not many because there's not these incredibly high-priced defensive linemen that you have. There's no Mac on this team. There's no Donald on this team. These are guys that have developed over the years and have become stars, but they know for New England to win, they have to do their part, and part of that is to not take the max money that they could take.
I will continue to stand by what I said last year with the Khalil Mack trade, with the Amari Cooper trade. Draft picks are way better than paying some guy max money. They're not max.
Well, right. We're saying max, but what they get on the open market is what we're trying to say. To some degree, yes.
Because the rookie deals are so bad for the player and so good for the team.
Right.
You should want as many of them as you can rather than trade one for a guy who you immediately have to pay.
Not unless you think that guy's going to take you over the top. And when they went out and they made the deal with the Raiders, they went ahead and said, listen, that first-round pick, it could turn into somebody great, but we're going to get instant production right now from our receiver. And we need that right now with this team because we got to, while the going's good, while we have Dak, while we have Zeke, we have to bring in a receiver too. It didn't work out with numbnuts Des Bryant, but now you have a hopefully a productive receiver. And you don't know if that first-round pick is going to be boom or bust. You don't know. You're not guaranteed that you're going to bring in another wide receiver. So in the NFL, a lot of times they go for it. They go for it. They might sacrifice some of their future, but they go for it.
And what has that gotten them?
Well, only one team can win. And you're going up against a model that the Patriots have created that cannot be duplicated. That's a problem for NFL teams. Why have there been a lot of variety? Because you have this dynasty. They don't always win it, but they're always there because they have players willing to give in to the system, give in to the team concept, as opposed to looking to see what they can get max for them. It's a model that is incredible. It's the best model in sports.
Okay, but the other model that is obvious in the NFL is look at how many of these teams are going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl with guys in their rookie contracts at quarterback.
Yes, but they're also...
When you're not paying your quarterback much money, you get to pay everybody else.
Right.
I mean, you're saving like $25 million a year at the quarterback position with these guys.
Well, we'll come back. We'll go over some of those quarterbacks and why teams, once they've accomplished a Super Bowl or at least got to the Super Bowl, why they've had to pay these players and why they don't have the same mindset as you do moving forward. We'll talk about that. Also, from the NFL, certainly some sad news that we'll talk about when we return. And Major League Baseball last night, a brawl that took place in Cincinnati that featured a team versus a player. Very odd. We will discuss that. A little bit more on Major League Baseball and the trade deadline. We'll get to that in depth with Mike Claiborne, who joins us at 11:25, but Yasiel Puig on the move. It's all coming up. Hour 2 of Middays right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hey, Mid-South hunters and fishermen, the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman Expo is coming to the Agri Center in Memphis August 9th through the 11th. Now, Friday is happy hour with beer and brats. Saturday and Sunday see special guest T-Bone from the hit TV show Bone Collector. Also see Frank Addington and his amazing archery show on stage all weekend. Watch Frank hit an aspirin as it's thrown in the air while shooting his bow behind his back. Plus, there's door prizes and giveaways all weekend. Win a $250 shopping spree to Final Flight Outfitters or a trail camera that sends text photos from Sniper Hunting Products. There is also a 3-day hunt of a lifetime from Trophy Club Outfitter of Indiana and a family 4-pack to the Talladega Speedway. And be sure to see the Sherp. It's the most ultimate ATV ever created, and they say that it's never been stuck. It's the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman's Expo, August 9th through the 11th at the Agri Center in Memphis. Go to duckbuckandbassexpo.com for all the info. And remember, hunting and fishing, it's who we are.
Family Leisure's pool clearance sale is July 8th through the 21st. Above ground pools starting at $11.99. 24-foot pools starting at $17.99. And you can get free upgrades on select pools that include pool filters, liners, and winter covers. Special 12-month financing is available. Plus, half off on toys, floats, and pool games. Summer's just started. There's plenty of time to swim, so make a splash at the Family Leisure Pool Clearance Sale. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hi, this is Mark Tobin. I got a question for you. Is there anywhere you'd rather be than outdoors today? Well, if that's true for you, then be sure to join me and our guests every Saturday at 6 a.m. for the Outdoors Today radio show. We're going to bring you hunters and fishermen. We're going to give you tips and techniques that'll help you get more from the outdoors today. Join our electronic campfire every Saturday at 6 a.m.
Outdoors Today, Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
Our Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
we're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby.
Sing it, Elvis. Welcome back, everybody. 11:01 the time, hour 2, Sports 56 Middays on this final day of July. It's the Wednesday, July 31st, 2019 edition of Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Austin Eldridge. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. Streamline your e-commerce business so you can focus on growing sales and strengthening customer relationships. Learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. All right, Nick Bonacani has passed away at the age of 78 after a battle with dementia. The former Dolphins linebacker also played a little bit with the Patriots. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2001. He was a 5-time All-Pro and 2-time Super Bowl champion. He was the mainstay of that Dolphins defense right there in the middle. He also was a star at Notre Dame, where he tallied 32 interceptions, which stands as the third most by any linebacker in NFL history. Not at Notre Dame, but in the NFL with 32 interceptions. Third most by linebacker in the history of the NFL, but he started at Notre Dame. But Bonacani also, after he was done his career and his, the family and things went awry when his son Mark was paralyzed, and he decided to dedicate his post-NFL career raising money for research into spinal cord and brain injuries. And Bonacani kickstarted the Miami Project to cure paralysis. Mark became a quadriplegic due to a football injury in 1985. And Sports Illustrated then detailed Bonacani's work with the foundation as well as his fight with dementia. I saw this. It was a tremendous piece, and this was in May of 2017. But a guy who was a stud football player, and then the tragedy of his son and having to, dedicate, and not having to, but wanting to dedicate his life to raise money, raise awareness, and raise a cure. So Nick Bonacani, one of the greats on and off the field, dead at the age of 78. Okay, so we're talking during the last segment about quarterbacks, and we'd love to hear from you folks. First Bank phone lines, 360-8255. First Bank text line, 67129, or message us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So correct me if I'm wrong, Eli. Eli's thought process is this. You got the quarterback during his, what is it usually, a 5-year or 4-year rookie deal?
You're a first-round pick. It's 5 years.
5 years.
Not, it's a 4-year.
And some of these quarterbacks were not first-rounders. So either 4 years or either 5 years. But they're under the rookie deal, and some of them have gone on to win the Super Bowl or lead their team at least into the Super Bowl. And your thought is to, once they're ready to get paid big money, dump them. Get rid of them. And so we look at the history of the quarterbacks recently in the Super Bowl. And a lot of times you got Tom Brady, who, of course, was a bargain basement find by the Patriots in the draft. But the reason it works because Tom takes the hometown discount. Doesn't have to worry about money. The Eagles, the year prior, when they beat the Patriots, that was the year where they had Carson Wentz leading the way, but Nick Foles taking over in the Super Bowl. Well, they decided that they were going to pay Carson Wentz. Even with the injuries that Carson Wentz has had, 2 big-time injuries, they let Nick Foles go to Jacksonville. They've paid him. So your thought would be get rid of Wentz, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then you go the year prior to that, and that was the Patriots winning again. You had before that the Broncos. That was, again, Peyton Manning towards the end of his career winning the 2nd Super Bowl, but doing so at a discounted price. Again, it doesn't fall into this category. The Patriots won the year before. Again, a unique situation that's different than any other franchise, the way they run the show in New England. Before that was Seattle. So that was during Wilson's rookie contract.
Yeah, he was making nothing because he was a 4th-round pick or whatever.
Right. So again, they're paying Wilson now big-time money. They probably should have won a 2nd Super Bowl. But my point is this. After you win a Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl with these quarterbacks, you've established yourself, and this quarterback has established himself as a player that can get you there, can get you to the promised land. So you can't, in your right mind, now, again, you feel this way, but as an owner of a team, as a general manager of a team, how do you get rid of that quarterback? Because now he's established himself as a winner.
Again, I understand the whole thing, that it's difficult to do that. My point is, if you look at history, it is easy to make the argument that that's the way you should do it. Seattle is the perfect example. Soon as they started paying Russell Wilson, because a lot of people will tell you the reason they won the Super Bowl was the Legion of Boom defense. The first time they paid Russell Wilson, they let the entire offensive line go. Second time they paid him to let the entire defense go. And where is Seattle now with Russell Wilson making a bunch of money? How good are they?
But what are you supposed, seriously, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be able to find enough players out there that fit financially into your system that will do their role and do their role well, and you surround your star or stars with those type of players. And that's what winning teams and winning organizations do. Everybody can't be paid. The guy who texted in, what do you want to pay? All 5 starting offensive linemen? Like big-time money? Then you're going to have...
No, you're going to have
the
have
most
some young
obscure
guys
quarterback
in there too.
and running back.
If you have a couple of anchors on your offensive line that you pay, then you draft guys. You have to have a bunch of guys on rookie contracts. That's what you have to have. That's why trading 4 draft picks to me is way better than trading draft picks.
I can't sit here and tell you, unless you have a great memory, that all these teams that won Super Bowls had a bunch of rookies. I can't tell you that the Packers, that the Saints, that the Giants had all these rookies. I think they probably didn't. I think they probably had veteran players, some of them journeymen, who did their job, who did their role, and did it well. But you have to, and for the sake of the...
You have to have guys outperforming their money they make. And if you have it at the quarterback position, that's the best way to do it. And that's why these rookie deals for quarterbacks, we see these teams that's able to do it. Jared Goff this past year, we see the Rams. I mean, the Rams went out and spent all the money because they're not... And that's the one thing I'll give the Bears, like last year when they made the Khalil Mack trade. The Bears, although I don't like the Khalil Mack trade, at least the Bears are looking at it like, we have Mitch Trubisky for a couple more years making no money. So let's go for it. We can afford to pay him right now because we're not paying a quarterback. So I at least get their thought process. The Cowboys, I didn't understand the thought process at all, unless they just for some reason thought that was going to win them the Super Bowl this past season, which it was never going to do.
But you don't know what Trubisky is going to be as a quarterback in the long run. These other guys, again, once they win a Super Bowl or lead their team to a Super Bowl, they have established themselves. There's also other situations where it is completely opposite of what you said, because you have Drew Brees winning a Super Bowl.
He wasn't making much money.
He was not in his rookie deal.
He wasn't making much money though. I don't care what it doesn't have to be a rookie deal. That's generally the way it works.
He was making whatever the going rate was for quarterbacks.
You know what he signed the contract with New Orleans at that time?
What?
He had a 6-year, $60 million contract.
Okay, but where was he on
$10 million? That's his total. It was
was he?
Remember, the Dolphins wouldn't even go for he had a shoulder issue when he signed that contract.
How many quarterbacks were making more than him that year? How many?
I don't have the list.
What I'm saying is the going rate now, unfortunately for teams, is this astronomical amount of $30 million for a quarterback. Back then it was probably 10, and that's what they were paying Breeze. What were they paying Roethlisberger? Roethlisberger wins the Super Bowl. He wasn't in his rookie deal. They were paying Roethlisberger. It was just the rate at that time was different than the rate now.
Drew Brees got that contract coming off a shoulder injury when the Dolphins wouldn't even look at him because of the shoulder injury. He didn't get a huge contract because of the injury.
I know that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers haven't won another Super Bowl. But you're going to turn around and tell that fan base you're going to trade Rodgers after they win a Super Bowl? I completely disagree. Let's go to the first bank phone.
I understand it from the team's perspective, but there is an argument to be made based on history that paying the quarterback $30 million is going to lead you to not winning.
No, but there's other intangibles that come into play. You think it's all about the quarterback and only the quarterback.
Because the quarterback is the one that gets the most money.
The quarterback's the most important position out there.
Cap. It's hard to pay one guy that percentage of that cap.
But I'm saying there are other reasons why a team maybe doesn't get back to the Super Bowl or a team with a young quarterback gets to the Super Bowl. It's not necessarily just that person. That team with the rookie quarterback, yeah, they may have had a couple of situations where they were able to use that young quarterback and they had a couple of other guys who were stars at other positions and they were able to put it together and make a run and win a Super Bowl or at least get there. But every single one to a T is I don't understand how you can turn around. And I know you said you understand rather how they do this and why they do this. It would just be suicide to a fan base after you win a Super Bowl to deal your quarterback. And again, it's unfortunate because the bulk of the money has to be paid to that quarterback, and now you're trying to pinch pennies in other places. But that's the way it is. Bill is dialed in. Bill, how are you?
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
You know, the thing about it is, I think y'all have on the right side in parallel arguments, but I think Greg in reality is correct in this respect. Quarterback play, I mean, that's the number one thing on a successful team. Now, Eli, the point of Eli, you're right. You can, if you overpay your quarterback and that $30 million, and I don't understand why it jumped up like that, because really it is detrimental to a team when you're paying that percentage of your salary cap to one position. It's going to be tough if you don't have young guys. So it does make sense to, if you're building a team with young guys, build your offensive line, your defense, and then sign a free agent quarterback to the big money because you've already got everything else in line. But there's no doubt. I mean, you know, Russell Wilson, you're basing your majority argument seems like on Seattle. You know, the thing with Seattle, we've come to find out now, is they had such a chemistry problem because of how I forget the coach's name, of course.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll treated Russell Wilson different than he treated everybody else, and the defense couldn't stand it. It was almost like the Bears situation back in the old days of Buddy Ryan and Ditka.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, but,
Buddy Ryan and Ditka in Chicago.
Yeah, okay. And they think, those guys took it personal. But that defense got old too. You're trying to say that defense was top notch when they started falling apart. Those guys started getting hurt. They started getting old as well. There's no doubt they overpaid Russell Wilson, but they still offensively they have been relatively successful. I mean, there's so much into it that the salary cap in football is to me is very confusing. That's why I think John Gruden has an advantage. He understands it. I know he hasn't shown it yet, but he's only been there 1 year. Give him a second. But there's no doubt. I mean, if you overpay your quarterback, but there's the quarterback play, and anybody's watched the NFL in the 70s and early 80s, you realize there wasn't that many quarterbacks around. If you didn't have a good quarterback, you had no chance to win anything. Your team might have been good for a minute because your defense would carry you.
Mm-hmm.
Once you got to the playoffs, it was over. And, I mean, there's no doubt. You have to have a quarterback. Running backs, you can run through them like freaking water. It's no big thing. Don't overpay for a running back. We figured out that is true. Wide receivers, don't overpay for wide receivers. You can fill in holes. But quarterback play, you've got the head of the monster has got to be there. Tom Brady has accepted that lower contract, and that's where that team chemistry comes in. If your quarterback wants to be successful for the long haul, he's got to be willing to let go some of that money to help the team, and that's the point. I think that's where both of y'all are right. If you can't overpay like $35, $40 million contracts for a quarterback, and then that's basically leaves you no money for anything else.
Okay, so the question then to you, Bill, is, which started our whole discussion, would you pay Dak? Because Eli wants Zeke to be paid. Would you pay Dak if you're the Cowboys?
I'm gonna tell you what. I would go to Ezekiel Elliott under the table and say, Is he signing first? If he's signing his contract, I don't care who my quarterback is.
Well, right now Zeke's holding out.
That's not that good. Well, he wants the money. I would give Zeke he's still got at least 3 more years. I would sign him for a 4-year contract. Zeke, give him the money because he's going to be good for at least 3 or 4 more years. Dak, you're right. I think if that's the argument, no, Dak doesn't deserve. He hasn't done anything to prove to me that you can replace him. I mean, I think, in my opinion, you can replace him.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate the phone call. 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. That's the First Bank phone lines and the First Bank text line 67129.
A couple of texts here on the First Bank text line. Says, why is there not less than max money for less than top tier play? Is there another team that would give Dak max money? I'm not sure there is. I don't know what other teams would be willing to give Dak. I don't think there would be very many that would be willing to give Dak $30 million a year. But there may be another team out there somewhere that, for whatever reason, loves him.
There are some that really love Dak Prescott. There are some. I've heard that, but I wouldn't say the majority would fit into that category.
This is quarterbacks that have gotten big contracts have gotten hurt because they can't pay the offensive line.
There is some truth to that. There is some truth.
Another one says, I'm a huge Cowboy fan. If you pay Dak, the window closes fast. Mm-hmm. Window closes immediately.
Before they had Dak, give me the brief history from recent years of the Cowboys. Before Dak took over. And who was that quarterback and how they did?
Tony Romo was the quarterback for a long time.
No, after Tony Romo, before Dak. What was there?
Dak took over for Tony Romo when Tony Romo was
So there was no other quarterbacks in between?
Well, there was a little bit. I mean, when Romo was hurt, those times.
Right.
Tony Romo was hurt. They drafted Dak. Romo couldn't start that season. Dak started the season, and when Romo got healthy, they stayed with Dak because they were winning.
Right, but there were guys that started games that were just awful, right? Or am I thinking
they were the backup quarterback to Tony Romo? Yes, they had backup quarterbacks who started games when Romo was hurt,
and they were awful. And then Dak comes in. They get him in the draft from Mississippi State, and they realize this guy can play, and he basically ends Romo's career. I mean, that's it. Dak takes over, and now the question is, how good is Dak? So we're all in agreement that quarterbacks are pretty important, but you think for the Cowboys' sake that Zeke is much more of an important player.
And I said during that year that if Tony Romo is healthy, he should take over for Dak.
You did say that. You did say
because not just did Dak come in, Zeke came in that year.
Right.
And they give Dak all the awards, although Zeke was clearly the reason, in my opinion. And I still would maintain that they should have went back to Tony Romo that year. Tony Romo was just better than Dak.
All right. I wanted to switch gears here for a couple of minutes before we bring on Mike Claiborne, and we'll continue the conversation. I'm going to start now with Mike Claiborne. But last night, the trade deadline, by the way, this afternoon wraps things up, and we had the Yasiel Puig trade. Trevor Bauer does get dealt, and that was one of those deals where yesterday we were talking about whether or not Cleveland is going to make a trade. And another interesting trade. We had that Mets trade for Stroman, which was kind of weird, and this one's a little bit different because Cleveland trades Bauer, but they bring in offense, and they get some prospects as well. But the the weirdness of the night, you had the Reds playing the Pirates in Cincinnati. And this was what, the top of the ninth inning when the brawl happened?
Yes, I believe it was.
And Puig's traded like minutes later, I think, basically. But it has nothing to do with the brawl why he was traded.
He had already been traded. He just didn't know it yet.
He had been traded, but was not informed.
Out there about the trade.
He was not informed. But Amir Garrett, the Reds pitcher, if you have not seen this video, folks, he rushes the Pirates dugout off the mound, boom, doesn't hesitate, doesn't wait for teammates to join him, and goes right in the middle of the Pirates, right outside the dugout, and just a scrum ensues, and he's trying to take on an entire team. Then his teammates come to his aid, and we had a nice little brouhaha.
Well, basically the first that came to his aid was his manager, who had already been ejected from the game, who must have been just standing there waiting for this to happen.
Oh, Bell was ejected from the game already?
Yeah, this whole thing had brewed all night long. There had been ejections for guys getting hit and thrown at. This stems back, of course, because there always does in baseball, to some guy admiring a home run earlier this year.
Sure.
Something like that. So
right.
There had already been ejections for guys being thrown at in this game. This had been brewing. These two teams, there have been some issues.
Why wasn't he back in the clubhouse?
Oh, I'm sure he was, or he may have been, but as soon as he saw anything start, he was on a dead sprint. I mean, he just came flying out. It did not go well for him at all. I don't know what he pushed Clint Hurdle, and then he got taken to the ground, and he was down the bottom of the pile in a headlock for most of it. They tried to get him out of the headlock. And then, of course, once he was out of the headlock, then everybody was holding him back. Then he was really yelling at Clint Hurdle.
Wow.
But,
the thing about Yasiel Puig has never actually been in a fight. He just talks. He's like, yeah, and then he just stands there like, hold me back, hold me back.
Yeah, then once they called down, that's when Puig got going again. But Amir Garrett's a big dude. But I'm not willing to take on, I don't care how big you are, taking on a whole team is probably a little bit lofty.
No, but we always talk about these so-called fracases and these brouhahas, and they don't turn out to be much, especially in the NBA. But Amir Garrett, he was on a mission.
He went in swinging.
He went in swinging. So he's going to get, what, a 10-game suspension?
I don't know what they will.
5 guys were ejected in that game. I don't know how many as a result of the brouhaha, but he is going to get at least 10 games. But he came in, so that was one of those fights where in sports they go, it was pretty good. Pretty
I wish actually Josh Bell would have met Amir Garrett.
Wow.
Because I'd like to see those two square off. I'd pay money to watch those things. That's two big boys. But Garrett's a big dude. Like, he's huge, but a whole team? Next time you may want to think just for, stop at the foul line. Like, they'll still come to you, but then at least your team can be there, kind of meet with you.
I don't think he expected to take on the whole team, but when he got there, it was too late. Oh, well, here they are.
I think the adrenaline just started running. Like, he started going, and he was like, I don't know, I'm in. I'm going. He was just like, I need somebody to throw a punch at. Whoever steps up first, I'm throwing a punch at him. And
he wasn't fake tough, though. He went out there swinging.
A friend, our friend Jay, and he points out that this is a thing with the Pirates too. The Cubs have actually complained about this. Joe Madden, the Pirates are getting this thing of they are known for throwing up and in. Like that's one of their things, and the Cubs have complained about it a little bit with them. So other teams have complained about it. The Pirates kind of have this label of headhunters a little bit with their pitching staff, and so there's going to be some teams that don't like them, and as it continues, they'll probably go through a few more of these.
Well, Hurdle's old school, but I'm not sure that directive is coming from Hurdle, but I would imagine that they play in the fashion of their skipper. He was a hard-nosed player. But Garrett, he reminded me when I saw the video, because I'm not real familiar with Garrett, I looked at the guy's size. He kind of reminded me of like Lee Smith type coming in there and trying to throw some punches. Not trying to throw some punches, throwing some punches.
He got into a shouting match with somebody from the Cubs. I think it was last season, and I can't remember who it was. That didn't really escalate anything, but it was a barking back and forth. He has a temper. Like Amir Garrett has a. Again, if you're that big, I guess you probably a little easier to have that temper.
You feel you can defend yourself.
You kind of feel like you've owned things out there, but yeah, it's those two teams just for whatever. And I don't know why. I don't understand why David Bell was like that freakishly angry to just come sprinting out of the dugout and be like one of the first guys in the fight.
I have no idea, but it was interesting, and certainly the whole night was weird because the trade that took place, as Austin said, had already taken place. Yasiel Puig doesn't hear about it till after, and he's in the middle of fighting.
If Puig had gotten hurt in the fight, that would have been one hell of a deal.
Yeah, so he's fighting. He's fighting for the Reds, his current team, and he didn't want to be dealt. By the way, he had said this the day before. And now he will play for the Cleveland Indians. But what about the trade real quick, and then we'll break for Mike Claiborne. Trevor Bauer goes to Cincinnati. Cleveland gets offense and prospects, but Cincinnati picks up Bauer. Why?
I don't really know. It's weird. I mean, that's the two main pitchers that have been traded so far have gone to bad teams. Cleveland, I get Cleveland. Like Cleveland wants offense. Like they need offense. And they got Puig, and then they got Reyes from San Diego. Like they need power, and they got.
And I figured they need offense.
Reyes is a hell of a power hitter, and then Puig is what he is. I mean, whether you like him or not. And they had an abundance of starting pitching, and they weren't going to pay Trevor Bauer here in a couple of years anyway. So they're getting what they're using Trevor Bauer to fill a need.
Could Bauer be flipped? Like we keep thinking Stroman could be flipped by the Mets, even though I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've got. I think Bauer is actually under one more season of control anyway, before he could become a free agent. So yeah, I mean, he could very well either next year or something. There may be something that Cincinnati wants to do.
And it looks like at least what we're hearing is Bumgarner will not be dealt by the Giants. But again, what time is the trade deadline?
3:00 Central.
3:00. All right, we'll talk more about that and what the Cardinals may or may not do. Cardinals get a win over the Cubs last night. Paul Goldschmidt with yet another home run. We'll talk about it with Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Hey fellas, this is Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. Many of you may need a birthday gift or an anniversary gift in the near future for that special lady in your life. She may have dropped a hint as to what she wants, or you may be out on an island all on your own without a clue. Whatever the case, you cannot make a mistake coming to Russell Brothers for that gift that tells her how much you care for her. Fine jewelry is never out of style, and at Russell Brothers, we would love to have you come in and see the huge selection of exquisite jewelry gifts that would thrill her beyond words. Diamonds and rubies, sapphires or emeralds, rings or bracelets, earrings, pendants, whatever you can imagine. We are well into our 4th decade of helping Mid-Southerners with all their jewelry needs, and with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, we would love to help you as you make an important decision. Beauty, quality, value, and service. That's what we offer at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Hey everybody, the All-Star Chevy Challenge is here. And I'm telling you, if it's a new Chevy you want, Olive Branch is the place to go, people. Take your best written deal from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to our friends at All-Star Chevrolet, and they will beat it. Or they're going to give you a free tank of gas for the win. So now that I got your attention, yes, July is All-Star Challenge month, when you get to let All-Star Chevy beat that deal on any new Chevy or even pre-owned vehicle you want. Just take the official written deal from any other Chevy dealer, not that one your friend wrote down at the bar, and take it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. It's that simple. Not only that, they have the best testing ground of any other Chevy dealership, and when you head to All-Star Chevy, you know you got the best deal. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch and take the All-Star Challenge. Not in South Haven, it's gotta be Olive Branch. Or go to allstarautogroup.com right now and be amazed by all the hot new Chevys and pre-owned vehicles they have in stock. Don't miss the All-Star Chevy Challenge. You will thank me later.
The NFL's best square off in the Ultimate Football Showdown. We'll be challenging the skills of these Pro Bowl All-Stars in competitions ranging from precision passing, best hands, gridiron gauntlet, the all-new 40-yard splash, to, yes, even dodgeball, because every quarterback who's been hit by a defensive lineman deserves a chance to settle the score. It's All-Stars at play at the 2019 Pro Bowl Skills Showdown, Thursday, January 24th, 9 p.m. on ESPN and Disney XD.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work, and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays. Time to talk a little baseball. Redbirds are back in town last night on a rehab assignment. Marcell Ozuna had an RBI single in the Redbirds win. Matt Carpenter is with Springfield. And, of course, Harrison Bader was just sent down to the Redbirds. So a lot of moves that the Cardinals have been making. And what did they do last night? They went out and they beat the Cubs, and now in first place in the NL Central. Will there be any more moves made before the 3 o'clock trade deadline? Here to talk some Cardinals and some Major League Baseball is our good friend Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals Radio Network. You can follow him on Twitter at ClaibsOnline. Hey, Mike, I heard Amir Garrett's waiting for you outside your office. Mike?
That's my guy.
Oh,
yeah.
He's your guy?
No, I love Amir Garrett and what he did last night. I don't like Yasiel Puig. Because, you know, every time you see Puig in one of these scuffles, it's always hold me back. But he never does anything. I love what Amir Garrett had enough of this foolishness and said, you know what, I'll settle this myself. I'm not going to throw anybody. I'll just start throwing punches, and we'll see who wants to step up. No, Garrett is A-okay with me, and I guarantee you this. When you have a guy like that people know is willing to drop the gloves, and I'm changing sports now, but who is willing to go, guess what? They don't mess with that guy anymore. They leave him alone because they know he's willing. How many people ran out on Bob Gibson after that brawl he was involved in against the Reds? You know, think about Nolan Ryan. Think about those pitchers who said, I don't have to throw at you to get your attention, but if you want some, I'll be more than happy to fill your dance card.
So what's baseball going to give him, 10 games?
Probably so. He'll appeal it and end up with get 5. Because I think the realists, the guys who really understand the game, understood what he did and why he did it. Now, he was pissed off because he gave up a long home run, but at the end of the day, this foolishness with Pittsburgh's got to stop because somebody's going to get hurt. Here's the reason why. In the old days, and I'm not saying going back to the 50s and 60s, but pitchers used to know how to throw inside. Today we have guys, pitch inside. Today we have guys who want to throw inside, and there's a big difference. And somebody's going to get hurt. And it's going to be a good player on a good team that's going to get hurt, and their playoff chances are going to be in trouble. So we got to get this stopped. If you don't know how to pitch inside, go back to the minors. You can't learn up here. You can't learn up here because there's too much at stake.
Mike, what's the talk up there today with the trade deadline coming up this afternoon? Do people expect the Cardinals or to be able to be active? I don't know what they really have to give up. What's the thought? Are they going to be active?
Well, they should be active. I think, and you touched on it, Eli. The expectations are high because of the fact that you knew what you needed. Everybody knew you needed some more pitching. So this isn't a player issue. This is management being creative to go out and find a deal that works. So you look at this and you say, all right, this isn't something that popped up overnight. You've been knowing that you needed a legitimate starter for a while. So be creative. Do your job. Do your job. That's all I think fans are asking for, and it'll be up to the Cardinals and the front office to find something that works.
All right, so Molina gets hurt, goes on the DL. Ozuna's trying to come back from his injury. Carpenter's out with his injury. Bader was doing nothing. They sent him down. They bring up some Redbirds. Goldie gets hot, but anyway, it all adds up to first place in the NL Central. How do they do it?
Because Milwaukee and the Cubs are short too. It's not. Somebody said to me yesterday, "Man, this is a terrible division," and I said, "I think it's more balanced because they can beat each other's brains out." Milwaukee can handle the Cubs. The Cardinals can handle Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, but have a problem with Chicago on the road. I mean, there are a lot of teams that are still trying to find a happy medium. You look at the lineups; they're pretty good lineups. Everybody puts out some pretty good players. But, they're all short on pitching, and I think that's what really creates the chasm that we see between themselves and the Dodgers or the Astros and teams of that nature.
So you would say that the number one need would be the starting pitcher?
Yes. You got to have a guy that can get you to the 6th and 7th inning. You can't have guys throwing 80 pitches after 4 innings. Mm-hmm. You've got to find some guys at this point because your bullpen's been terrific. But we're starting to approach numbers for some of these guys in the bullpen that are going to be career highs. And you don't know what you're going to get after that. So you've got to find a way to give them some relief more or less than anything else.
Do they feel good right now with where Carlos Martinez is as the closer?
Oh, yeah. Carlos has been terrific, but you pitch him 2 innings or 6 batters every night. He was pitching 3 days in a row in some cases. You got to find another guy in the bullpen, and maybe it's Gallegos. Andrew Miller's starting to pitch better. Mm-hmm. So you may have to find a combination of people, and maybe that guy is a reliever. Maybe it's a Tony Watson. Maybe it's a Will Smith. Maybe it's one of those guys, and you still have to find a bona fide reliever as well. So they should be busy today. Now, whether they pull the trigger on anything, who knows?
Of course, I think every team in baseball wants relievers. it's like every team, that's their need.
You know what? and you know what's amazing? Relievers have such a short shelf life, especially that middle relief guy. Just when he starts to show that he's a successful guy, somebody says, "Oh, wait a minute, we still have control of you. You don't even go to arbitration yet. And then when you do go to arbitration, we'll offer you 1 year, and by then your arm will be shot and nobody will care."
It is amazing, how quickly a reliever goes from looks like he's great to 2 years later can't get anybody out. But I guess because they just ride these relievers so much when they are good that their arm falls off just about.
Think about all the guys you've seen in Memphis: Mitchell Bach, Seth Maness, Kevin Seagrass. There have been so many guys that have gone through that cycle where they were really good for a year or two, and then all of a sudden somebody said, "Hey, you've thrown a lot of pitches," and all of a sudden your arm starts to hurt, and all of a sudden you got to have Tommy John, and all of a sudden they don't return your phone call. It's a lot of things that go into that really make their shelf life very short.
Well, the Cardinals are a perfect example, right? You had, was it Rosenthal was the guy, and then all of a sudden...
There's another guy.
Right? Rosenthal?
Yeah.
Then it was...
He's got Tommy John now. He can't even throw his underwear in the dirty clothes.
Right.
He can't even get that anymore. So it's a really tough situation. So for all you parents who are listening who think you're little Johnny because he can throw 95 miles an hour and maybe he'll be a shutdown closer, I got news for you. He'll be sitting in your own living room or living back in the basement if you don't watch it. I mean, this is a very tricky business right now, and how relievers are really getting overexposed because nobody can go beyond 7 innings anymore. So relievers have a higher value because they don't cost you anything.
Well, it's not that they can't go beyond 7. They won't let them go beyond 7 because I'm looking
Well,
at
that
right?
starts in the lower levels. You're right. You're absolutely right. Starts in the lower levels, and everybody's on a pitch count, and if a guy pitches more than beyond, then his agent calls the general manager, and the general manager tells the manager, and you can't do this to this guy. He's a prized possession. And I always go back to Steven Strasburg. Remember how they baby him?
Yep.
I'm trying to remember what dressing room was Steven Strasburg holding up a trophy for. What championship did he win, or what playoff round did he get out of? And it's not a knock at him personally. It's more a knock at the system and how we've overprotected these guys. And now they're full grown, and all we can do is say we got to be careful with him. Hell, he's 30-something years old. What are we doing being careful with him for? He should be able to go out and be the bell horse of your rotation.
Absolutely. No question about it. It's funny, though. I'm looking at the Cardinals-Cubs series this season, and there's 3 2-1 games and 1 3-1 game. You don't see that much anymore in Major League Baseball.
You know, it's focus, man. These teams really, you know each other so well, and you focus. And there's a real mutual respect that they have. I mean, they have toward each other. Now, granted, you want to beat the other guy, but you see them enough where you know who they are. And nothing changes. Rizzo and Bryant are going to be there. Molina's going to be there. Now it's Goldschmidt. Joe Madden is going to be there. And Mike Schultz made a name for himself. There's a lot of respect, unlike what you see with this Pittsburgh bunch and what they're trying to do. And there's some other Banty Rooster teams that are out there that really make you feel uncomfortable about what they're trying to do, and they're trying to establish themselves, and they want to be on the totem pole. But right now, their portion of the totem pole is really at ground level. I mean, or either underground. And they're trying to figure a way to be seen and heard. I personally thought that this division would have every team in it that would be around 500 by the end of the season. If they stay healthy and they got a break somewhere. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are starting to fade a little bit. But you know what? You don't want to go into either one of those places late in the year and try and win 2 out of 3 because they may have just enough of a hump in their back in order to say, hey, you know what, we're big league players too.
Mike, it's baseball, so it's weird things happen and all that. You don't know, but to me, I look at it and I just don't see how a National League team, especially, can beat the Dodgers in a series.
Well, they're good. They're real good. And I tip my cap to Dave Roberts with all the distractions that he undertakes daily with a lot of bean counters and guys in suits with laptops telling them how things should be. And he also gets his players ready to play. I don't know what you saw what he did to John Peterson the other night.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, and I tip my cap to him. And if you know Dave Roberts at all, you know he's a legitimate person, let alone manager. He didn't back into the World Series the last 3 years. He had a pretty good ball club, and they play hard for him. But if you don't give the effort, guess what? You don't play. And you have to tip your cap to him for that. But, anything can happen in a series, man. You win in the other guy's ballpark once, the whole dynamic changes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it all it takes is one pitcher to give you a great performance, like I said, on the road. Something like that happens, but, man, they just look so good.
Further. What about when the Dodgers and the Cardinals would play each other, and they got Kershaw?
Yeah,
okay,
yep.
well, we had Matt Carpenter knocking the daylights out of Kershaw, and Matt Adams hit the home run off of him. And then they hit Hanley Ramirez and start throwing at Puig. They called timeout and didn't want to have anything to do with it. So now you just eliminated 2 of their best players, and the next thing you know, the Cardinals are moving on in postseason. So anything can happen in postseason.
Yeah,
hey, before we go any further, I got a question for you, Eli.
Yep.
You know, the internet distributes a lot of, as we call, misinformation. Some guy calls it fake news. There was a report that you got married. Is this true? I just need to verify this.
I can verify that for you. That is true. That is not fake news.
Wow.
I've got a ring on my finger.
News.
It was breaking news.
I've got a ring on my finger to prove it.
That is breaking news. Obviously, and I'm going to consider her a lovely wife. Your lovely wife obviously didn't do a thorough background check on you, did she?
She did.
I did not
give her your number. You are correct. I did not want her to get any information
okay,
from
I
you.
didn't think so. I didn't think so. But I'm happy for you, and congratulations to you and your bride. And may you guys have a long, successful, prosperous relationship with each other. You know, she just, not that she's going to go to heaven anytime soon, but, she jumped a whole lot of spots when she
sure
said,
did.
I do, man. I got to tell you.
Listen,
when they
no
get to
doubt.
her name and they look at her and say, wait a minute. Were you married to Eve? Yeah, come on, let's go. Come on, you don't have to wait any longer. Come on, we knew what you had to go through on Earth with him. So you come on in. Don't worry about doing the paperwork. We'll handle that later. You're good to go.
There's no doubt. I agree with everything you've said.
He wasn't vetted, man. That's the problem, man. She didn't,
That's true. Yeah, I mean, in this case, I might try and get married again. That's how it's working, man. I mean, geez, that's impressive. So is she from Memphis?
She's from Jackson, Mississippi. She is a Southern girl.
Oh, right down the road.
Yeah,
okay.
oh yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Yes.
All right.
He got himself a Southern girl.
Keeping it in the South. These Southern girls a lot better.
Yeah. Well, they're beautiful women. They're very nice and kind, and obviously very forgiving. Good for her. Good for her. That's cool.
Hey, Mike. One other thing before we let you go. So we've had the somewhat strange Marcus Stroman deal. We had the deal last night with Bauer and Puig. We've had a couple little minor things. Is anything else big going to happen before 3 o'clock today?
I got to think somebody's going to push the button and blink. Here's the problem that you're running into. A lot of these teams are stretched thin on prospects.
Mm-hmm.
And, like the Cardinals don't have a lot of prospects that really wet the whistle of other teams without them having to sacrifice some things down the road. So look at the teams who have the most prospects, or at least lead you to believe that these guys are prospects. They could be suspects. Those are the teams that will continue to talk. I think the Cardinals have a couple of prospects they can move, and somebody would say, okay. But I think I would look at that because if you do anything different, then you're mortgaging your future, and I don't know if mortgaging your future for what you're going to get in return guarantees you a world championship, especially when as you mentioned, the Dodgers and the Yankees, the Astros, those are all really dominant teams. And I don't know if you can narrow that gap enough to make that work.
Mike, do you like, by the way, the fact that they got rid of the waiver trades and all of that? Now this is it. This is the trade deadline. And with that, do you think maybe they should move it back a couple of weeks?
No, I think, it was kind of a joke in the first place. Let me reserve judgment on that. Let me see how this works.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. I think we all need to take a step away from it and take a deep breath.
Yeah, I like it so far, but we'll see how it turns out. Real quick, I guess this just happened. Brewers have traded Jesus Aguilar to Tampa.
Yeah.
Was that already known?
What they get?
They got Jacob Faria?
That's a relief pitcher.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him, but Aguilar I am very familiar. So they got rid of a bat for a pitcher. I guess everybody needs a pitcher, right?
Everybody needs pitching. And you know what? Watch out for Tampa. If they get some pitching, especially after they lost their Cy Young Award winner, they can be fun to watch, man, because they can swing the bat. They're really good defensively, and they got Tommy Pham. And I'm always I'm a Tommy Pham fan.
All right. He is Mike Claiborne, Cardinals Radio Network. Follow him on Twitter at Claibs Online. Always a pleasure, Mike.
Hey, you guys have a great rest of the day. Eli, again, congratulations, and I'm looking forward to meeting your bride.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Good stuff from Mike Claiborne. So there you go. The Brewers trade a bat
And he's a bench player for them.
Yeah, but he's a capable guy off the bench. He could start, and he
had
has
a
at times.
Great first half last year. Since then, he's been
right. But he's a capable long ball pinch hitter off the bench if you need him, and then you have a pitcher that you get, and Tampa gets a bat. We'll see how Tampa uses him, but just a minor trade, and we'll see if anything happens. I just don't know who's out there that teams are going to trade, with Bumgarner probably off the market right now. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with dinner and a movie. You can jump in right now on the phone lines. First Bank phone lines are open at 360-8255. Dinner and a movie is next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, excellence in office solutions.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
If you miss the good old days of great Italian food, rejoice, because Chef Judd Grizzani is carrying on the 110-year-old family tradition. A new Ronnie Grizzani's is now open in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway, with lunch 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday, plus a Saturday brunch also from 11 to 2. Live music Wednesday and Thursday nights, an oyster bar with fresh oysters and crab, and an extensive Italian and American wine by the glass list. Don't reminisce about the good old days. Relive them at Ronnie Grizzani's in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
We were talking a lot about the starting pitchers and the need for pitching, not only starting but relief pitching with most of the teams in contention. I just saw the stat, Eli. The Yankees' 5 primary starting pitchers, none of them have an ERA under 4.08. So they're doing what most teams are doing nowadays. They're scoring a lot of runs. They're outscoring teams because that pitching is just not.
Yeah, they are one of the teams looking for an ace, and I just don't know that there is an ace available. If you missed out on Bauer, if you thought he was an ace, but if Bumgarner doesn't get traded, there's just not a whole lot out there that you could possibly get.
No, there's not, but they at least have a lot that they can deal. There's a lot of capable offensive of weapons on that team, guys that are injured too, that are really good, that the Yankees have put together and have acquired over the last few years, whether it's via draft or free agency or what have you. So they have enough assets to trade. It's just that what can they trade for?
Time now for dinner and a movie.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose.
I take orders from just one person, me.
So one day he's still alive.
It is Dinner and a Movie. It's your opportunity to win a prize package, including 2 Malco movie passes and a $25 gift certificate to 117 Prime downtown. Of course, with those Malco movie passes, you can go to the Malco theaters, which are all over the area. Among the movies out there right now, including The Lion King, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I've seen a lot of people talking about that one.
Lion King was fantastic, by the way.
Did you go see it?
It was really good.
Better than the animated version?
It's been a while since I've seen it. It was good. They did not ruin it. It was definitely on the same level. Obviously, being live action is a little bit different, but it was really good.
All right. Spider-Man Far From Home out there. Toy Story 4, Crawl, Stuber. Yesterday, also still out there as well. Opening up this weekend, you've got Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw with The Rock. It's been a while since we saw The Rock in a movie. Good. Good.
Sure we have.
Glad he made another one. I was getting worried that he had retired.
I think he's past Michael Caine.
Hope we get a new Kevin Hart movie soon as well. So make sure he's still working. At the Ridgeway Cinema Grill, you could check out The Farewell, Cordova Cinema, Sword of Trust. Also at the Wolf Chase Cinema Grill, back by popular demand, is Midsummer. So you can check those out. Again, you can always go to Malco.com. You can download the Malco app. It will tell you when and where all of the various movies are showing. Here is today's question. Again, for 2 Malco movie passes and a $25 gift certificate to 117 Prime downtown. On the First Bank phone line at 360-8255. There have been, to this point, 8 Fast and Furious movies. I need you to tell me what they have done on average in the domestic box office within $10 million either way. So the average Fast and Furious movie, what does it do at the box office?
When does it get too fast and too furious? That's what I want to know.
Have you seen...
I've not seen one.
I saw one. I don't know which. I think it might have been the first one. I don't know for sure. I've seen one Fast and Furious movie.
All right, we go to the phone lines, the First Bank phone
They were
lines.
fast, and they were... I didn't think they were that furious, to be honest with you, but they were fast.
Daryl is first up. Hey, Daryl.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
What's your guess?
My guess is $189 million.
$189 million. Is that a guess? Or is that a lookup?
That's a educated guess.
I have a feeling it's a very educated guess.
Is it correct?
It's, what do you want to go, instead of rounding, do you want to go with any other numbers?
Yeah, it's 189.6.
There you go. You are correct, Daryl. You are a winner. You've got yourself a couple of Malco movie passes and $25 to 117 Prime.
Good job, Daryl. We'll put you on hold. Austin will get your information. That's why it pays to get in first. Unfortunately, we had some others, and we didn't even get to them.
So the Fast and Furious movies, the previous 8, this will be number 9, they have done $1.5 billion.
Has it always been the same people? It was Fast and Furious, the one with the what was the actor who died in a car crash, I believe, but it had nothing to do with like filming. It was a Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
Was he in the Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
So he was.
That's how he died.
So who else is in the
Rock?
Right.
Jason Statham.
And they're in all 8 of them.
Ludacris plays in them.
The Rock wasn't
This
in
new
the
one's
early
going to
ones,
have. What's the guy's name? Idris. Yeah, Idris Elba.
The Rock wasn't in the early ones. When did The Rock? How many has The Rock been in? Is this?
He started at like 4 or 5, I think.
So has Jason been in all 8 of them?
No,
he hasn't either.
This is his first one.
Okay, so obviously nobody has been in all 8 of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
You can't be that furious. Like, you got to, at some point, you get over your furiousness.
Right.
You just give up.
You just become even keel after that.
Furious 7 did $353 million. That's easily number 1. Tokyo Drift only did $62 million.
Yeah, the seventh one was the one that Paul Walker died in. It was massive because of that. It had the most.
Oh, it was the seventh one?
Yeah, that's the one where he had.
Wow. So
accident.
wait, Tokyo Drift.
Vin Diesel. That's why. I couldn't.
Vin
I forgot
Diesel.
about him.
Tokyo Drift. You said was the second one. Which one in order was Tokyo Drift?
Oh, what one in order?
Yeah,
it was,
because some
1, 2, 3.
And then they decided to make another one after making only that much money. I
mean, they've made a ridiculous amount of them.
No, but he said no. And the point I'm making is, he said the first one made like what was it again, Eli? 300-something million.
No, that was the seventh one that did 300. That's
okay.
That's
so what did the first one make?
First one did. Where's the first one? The Fast and the Furious. 144 million.
Okay, so that was good. Second one.
Too Fast, Too Furious did 127 million.
Still really good. So you'd certainly go back and make a third one. What did the third one do?
62 million.
That's Tokyo Drift, right? So once you drop from the 62, now you think you cut the ties, but they come back and they make 5 more.
Well, with Tokyo Drift, it didn't have anybody in it from the original two. So what they did was they thought they could just do the franchise without the original people in it, and they found out they couldn't, so they brought it back with the original people.
Gotcha.
Yes, it was
Bad
3,
idea, Genes.
They went 3 years, and then they came back, with the first was The Fast and the Furious. Then the comeback was Fast and Furious.
Faster and more furious. That's coming up, right?
Then you had Fast 5, and then you had Fast and Furious 6, then you had Furious 7, and then you had The Fate of the Furious. So we finally, found out what the fate of the Furious was.
And this one is just Hobbs and Shaw. It's not even Fast and Furious.
9 will be way too fast, not furious enough.
Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah, the Fast and the Furious are presenting Hobbs and Shaw.
There are still some furious people.
They sound like a comedian.
They're now just presenting other people. The furious now are like, you know what? I'm still furious, but here's the deal. I'll give you somebody that's not furious. These Hobbs and Shaw people, not that furious. We'll stay furious over here. We'll give you them.
They sound like a comedy team. The comedy stylings of Hobbs and Shaw.
Calvin and Hobbs.
Yeah. We'll take a break. Hour 3 coming up. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag Equipment can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, these tractors can tackle every chore on your to-do list. Call 662-890-3141 or stop in today to find a Case IH Farm All that's right for you.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. commercial janitorial services, specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:03 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Austin Eldridge. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, it's located at 2120 Whitten Road. That is just north of Interstate 40. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at the FedEx Corporation. Make the most out of your e-commerce experience by finding insights and inspiration from other small business owners. You can learn more at FedEx.com/e-commerce.
Apparently they do, by the way, have Fast and Furious 9 and Fast and Furious 10 already planned out.
Wow.
So they're going to go to 10.
It's one of those series where they've gone way too long.
Not sure if it goes to 11 or not, but it will go to. It's going to go to apparently.
Christopher Guest will be in number 11.
2020, Fast and Furious 9. 2021, Fast and Furious 10, and then we'll see. I don't know if The Rock is in those. I don't know who's gonna. What has The Rock got to be furious about? Rock's like making money hand over fist. It should be fast and happy if The Rock's in. And like, what could he possibly be furious about? Or is he fast?
He is fast. He's fast. He's one of the. He's like the cop.
Is he Hobbs or Shaw?
He is.
He's whoever he wants to be.
I think he's Hobbs. Not 100% sure though.
You have 1 out of 2.
I mean, I'm just going. I'm basically on the fact that Hobbs is the first name and Dwayne Johnson is the more popular.
If you're not 100% sure, you're 50% sure.
Yeah, I've got a 50-50 chance of being right, I feel like.
How many movies has The Rock done now? Because I think by law he has to say yes to any offer.
Oh, he's done a ton. I don't know the exact number.
I mean, he's got to be up to like 50 movies. That's not a crazy number, right? About 50 movies already? I mean, he seems to like turn out 3 or 4 a year. Just pounding them out, man. He's saving the world. He's saving the galaxy. He's saving cars. He's doing whatever it takes.
Let's see here. Let's look at Dwayne.
Oh, so is Michael
He's
Caine.
acted in 97 movies. Now, that's not to say he's been a big part, but he has been a part of 97
movies. 97 movies.
Which movie am I talking about? We're Fast and Furious. Where are we?
Now, I see him in Ballers. I watched that on HBO. I sure is a Showtime. One of the two, but in a weekly thing during the
Now,
summer.
that includes movies he's been like a voice for, like Moana, or something like that.
He's Hobbs. Okay. He's Hobbs. He's Luke Hobbs.
I was right.
He was in the.
What do you want, a cookie?
Yeah, because he was in the Fate of the Furious. He was in Fast and Furious 6. He was in Fast 5. Was that the first one he came into? Yeah, that looks like.
So CJ
Fast 5 was when Luke Hobbs appeared on the scene. Apparently,
CJ, which of the Marvel characters are in the Fast and the Furious?
Surprisingly, none. There should be some. Idris Elba should be Green Lantern. I'm just throwing that out there. But like that, outside of that, that's in DC also. But outside of that, nobody's in it.
Yeah.
Aquaman is in there. Mimosa's going to be in there. He's going to play the Rock's half brother or something like that.
In this one?
Yeah. But again, that's not Marvel. That's DC.
Well, whatever it is, any comic book that's been turned into a movie, you figure they'll intertwine with the Fast and the Furious somehow.
I mean, this is the same type of cinematic universe we see with these comic books, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Universe. Eli, you said they had 10 and 11 already ready to go?
Yeah.
Like, this is a movie universe right here. They're making bank off of this. Why would they ever stop?
No. If you are making bank, you don't stop. That's the thing.
This here, if you don't count cameos, bit parts, or things like that, this lists him with 30 movies.
So it's 30 straight out, probably the lead actor in the movie, 30. And
It's
then
just,
all
that's
the rest of them.
excluding bit parts and cameos. That, like if he had
Gotcha.
he was a
Credited
a major
actor.
role. Yeah.
And that's not including all the scripts of the WWE. Oh wait, that's not scripted.
Yeah. And that is including voice or whatever. That is his movies that he has done stuff. He had one movie that did $275,000 at the box office.
Which one was that?
Southland Tales. I believe he's over at Southland Park betting on dogs in that movie.
Rampage, one of his fantastic, more recent movies, by the way, along with Jumanji.
Let's see. I want to see what my favorite rock movie is.
He was in Rampage?
He was.
My favorite,
With Stallone? Was Stallone in Rampage?
No, it was a rock.
My favorite
But
rock
was it the
movie
whole
would be-
Rampage thing? Was it like the Rampage?
You're talking about
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Rambo.
Yeah, no, Rambo. No, Rampage is the big gorilla.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I was thinking of
I have
Rambo.
just
Video
realized I have seen very few rock movies.
Scorpion King, older one.
Never saw that.
All
I
right,
saw the
here we
one
go. Uh,
where he saves the universe, but that's everyone.
Here we go.
San
Tell me
Andreas?
if you've seen it or not.
I saw San Andreas.
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Yes,
Yes, I saw
great
it.
movie.
I saw it.
Furious 7.
No, none of the Furious movies I've seen.
Moana.
No,
Yep, good movie.
Fast and Furious 6.
No.
The Fate of the Furious.
No.
Fast 5.
No.
San Andreas.
yes,
Great movie.
So that you have 2?
2.
I'm at 0. Get Smart.
Yes, hilarious.
No, I have not.
Central Intelligence.
No,
That's Kevin Hart, I believe, in that one with him as well.
It is
So there's,
Kevin
there's
Hart.
both of them for you.
I haven't seen it though.
I can guarantee I haven't seen it then. G.I. Joe Retaliation.
No,
Yep. Not one of his better ones, in my opinion.
You said no?
no.
The Other Guys.
Who
No,
was
that one's funny.
Who was in
Mark
that?
Wahlberg.
I saw that one. I thought it was Wahlberg.
Yeah, they were the police officers. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's 3.
Journey to the Mysterious Island.
No,
Rampage.
no,
Yes, great movie.
The Scorpion King.
no,
Decent movie.
The Game Plan.
no.
That's my first.
Yeah, hey, he's seen one.
What's the game plan? Who's in it? Other than The Rock?
It's isn't that a little girl? Oh, that's the one I saw. No,
Tooth
what
Fairy.
is the Game Plan? And I thought there was the Game Plan was about with the little girl. The only reason I've watched that was we were at the Super Bowl. Somebody gave me the DVD, and I was like, I don't know, I'll watch this movie, and I didn't like it, but yeah, that's the one I've seen. All right,
He parties. He
You're at-
parties heavily at the Super Bowls.
well, no, I watched it when I got home.
No, I'm kidding.
You're still at 2.
I'm at 3.
3. Hercules,
No,
Skyscraper.
no.
I think I might have seen Skyscraper.
I can't remember. I feel like I've seen Skyscraper.
I think I might have. I don't know. Race to Witch Mountain.
No,
Tooth Fairy.
no.
Baywatch.
Oh,
No.
that one's hilarious.
How many are you at, CJ?
12.
Oh, gosh. Be Cool.
No.
13 for CJ.
Pain and Gain.
No.
14 for CJ.
What is Pain and Gain? Are they like, is that names of characters?
They're like Hans and Franz?
It's like that Franklin and Bash?
No, that's that ridiculous story down in Miami, of all places. Of course, it's in Miami, where the steroid use. And they use steroids to end up killing a guy and then hiding the body, but they end up getting caught.
Oh, okay.
He was in that movie.
Okay. The Rundown.
I've never heard of half these movies.
Walking Tall.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes,
That's
saw
a
him in
good one.
Walking Tall.
That's a remake of an older movie, but it's a
Yes,
good one.
which is the Buford Puster story from not far from here.
Snitch.
No.
15 now for CJ.
Gridiron Gang.
Gridiron Gang.
16 for CJ.
That one I feel like I've seen.
I'm at
pretty
4,
sure I've
but
seen it.
Gridiron
I think CJ might be a Dwayne Johnson fan.
Does anybody know what Gridiron Gang was about? It had to be about football, but
It's a juvenile detention facility, and one of the guards decides he's going to get a football team together.
Yeah.
Bad News Bears meets Longest Yard.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking that I've seen Gridiron Gang. I'm at 3.
I haven't seen it though. I know of it though. I'm at 4. I'm still at 4.
Doom.
No.
Faster.
Is that a Fast
That's
and
one of the
Furious?
Fast and Furious movies, yeah.
Oh, that is one of them.
I thought. Is it not? Maybe it might not be.
It should be.
I don't know. I don't know if that is. They're not furiouser.
Okay.
They're just faster.
They're just faster.
Fighting with My Family.
That's
No.
a fairly new one. I haven't seen that one
No.
yet.
Yeah, that was
That might actually
that
be
was in
upcoming.
February of this year that came out. And then Southland Tales, which you obviously didn't see that.
So
Nobody
CJ's
did.
16, well, almost half the list. CJC.
4 for me.
I think
I'm
I
a
was
quarter of the
5 or 6?
of CJ's.
I was at 5 or 6 or something like that. I've seen a couple of the Fast and Furious movies, but I don't know if he was in the ones I've seen.
Eli, you're at what, 2?
I think I had 3.
But here's the thing I will say this. He's a pretty good actor.
I love him in Ballers.
I love him in Ballers. I watched that.
Oh, he's a really good.
By the way,
really good actor.
why isn't Ballers out? Is there another season?
He's got a season upcoming now, I believe. He's in the works.
I always thought it was during the summer, but maybe it's
they got to work around his schedule. He's making every movie in him.
He's making Fast and Furious movies. Okay.
Yeah, he's having a better career in Hollywood than he ever had in the WWE.
Oh my gosh! Well, yeah, and definitely football, definitely pro football. But he's a good actor. He's not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right.
Pain and Gain is Mark Wahlberg. CJ's saying we all need to watch Pain and Gain. It's Mark Wahlberg as well.
Pain and Gain. All right, I'll
and Anthony Mackie.
I'll put on my long list of movies that I'm supposed to see. Like, if I went back to I got to see that movie. Like, I would have a list of 200 movies that I have not seen that I.
Oh, I'm way behind on movies.
What do you think Rock gets paid per movie?
Oh, and every bit of revenue that the movie makes, probably.
No.
I wonder if he gets a standard fee or if he's on a.
No.
I'm trying to think of what like a typical actor's fee is, and then ramp it up a little bit. I'm thinking like he won't make a movie for less than $10 million.
Oh, of course not. That. No, he's probably between. Think about it. If you're the Fast and Furious and you make 300 and something million domestic, but that's domestic. Who knows what they make internationally? And you got a bunch of stars in the movie. But then you're banging up cars and stuff like that. It's probably cost you a lot of money. I got to imagine he makes between 25 and 50, depending on the movie.
Yes,
he made $124 million between 2017 and 2018.
Well, see, he's smart here. He does
percentage.
Yeah, one of these says it 22 million or basically 30% of the movie's profits.
30% of the movie's profits. Wow.
So like
I was saying, all the revenue, the money.
It's like Jumanji, which did a ton of money. Like who knows how much money he ended up making.
Brother, can you spare a dime? Yeah, I think you can.
For Ballers, let's see.
He probably gets. I bet you he gets 20,000. No, he gets more than that an episode. Maybe about 35 grand an episode.
Let's see.
Just 35 grand?
Maybe it's more than that.
That's more than my annual salary, though. I'd take that for one episode.
They say Variety reported in 2017 that Johnson gets $650,000 per episode.
Something in my throat.
You were just a little bit off, Greg. You were pretty close.
What did you guess?
35,000.
What 35,000? There isn't an actor. The smallest role on the worst TV show gets more than that.
No. The little kids. I just looked this. And the reason probably I said that was because it's in my head that I just looked this up last night. I'm binge watching Stranger. What's it called?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. The little kid actors. 10 grand an episode. 10 grand an episode. Yeah. But I should have thought about the darn. What's the nerds that the final season just happened?
Oh, Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang. They're making like $1 million an episode.
Yeah.
That's one of the most popular TV shows CBS has ever ran.
Seinfeld people and Friends characters. I mean, they were making $1 million per episode.
Yeah, but Ballers isn't Seinfeld and isn't that. But yeah, I was way off. Yeah, that was stupid. It was a stupid guess. $650
per episode.
Per episode. $650,000 per episode.
Boy, it must be a rough life for him. I don't know how he makes it. I mean, you got to buy groceries and stuff like that. I mean,
well, again, he made $124 million in a year. That's what. See, that always goes back to like the people who complain about athlete salaries. Like these actors,
they can do it forever,
way more,
and they can do it forever. Well, not forever, but they can do it for a long time. Rock isn't retiring next year.
Why is it that? Whatever athlete, that's too much for him, but The Rock making $124 million in a year, that's not too much. Like, that's just, who cares?
Right. Exactly. That argument's
always about sports event like tickets going up, but we don't care that the ticket prices for movies go, like, it's all the same thing.
Some people do complain, but you're right. A lot less complain about that, and they complain more about the sports.
It's because it's not in their face. It is in our face how much athletes make. We can't, if you are a sports, you know who, like, what every one of them is making. People don't know what actors make. They have no idea for the general, like, unless you go research it, it's not in your face. But athletes, it's constantly in your face. Oh, he just signed this 5-year, $150 million deal. Oh, my God.
Right.
How do he make that much money?
Because we watch ESPN every day.
Make that in 1 year.
Right, but we watch ESPN every day. We don't watch whatever, TMZ every day, and they're given salaries and with a ticker of guys' new deals. But here's the thing. They're also, the shelf life of the athlete is limited, right? Another reason why we shouldn't be complaining about the athlete as opposed to the rock star or the actor. They're all multimillionaires, but think about the violent sports, the physical sports like football or even boxing and things like that, MMA. I mean, you're not doing it when you're 50 years old.
Like,
You shouldn't be.
See if you
George Foreman did.
See if you can find like Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks career earnings. Like, see if it tells you like there's anything that reported like what they've made in their career.
I'll bet you it's more than Jack Nicklaus on the course.
But we're not Jack Nicklaus.
I can tell you, Tom Hanks earned $40 million for Saving Private Ryan.
He got $40 million for Saving Private Ryan
and $70 million for Forrest Gump.
So he said that he took that one. He must have taken.
Well, see what he got. See if you could find what he got right now for doing the what's his name, Mr. Rogers. That's coming out, the Mr. Rogers movie. Because now we're talking about modern. We're talking about 2019 as opposed to years ago.
Well, that movie hasn't come out yet. I don't know if they'll have. Let me find. I'll see if they have a salary.
He probably does it on a percentage. That's why Forrest Gump was so high. I'm sure he does it on a percentage of the box office.
Do you think we'll ever get to that point? Or do we ever have we ever had an athlete who got like a percentage, like of the team? Right? You think we'll ever get to that point with an athlete?
What do you mean get a?
Well, let's say Kawhi Leonard was like, Ballmer offered whatever he did to get Kawhi Leonard there, right? And let's say the offer was, you have a cap, so you're trying not to pay a luxury tax, but could you also, like down the road, maybe one day it'll be like you get 1% of the.
Well, no, they're not. I mean, there's going to be rules against it because they're not going to let you circumvent the cap by doing that.
Right, but I'm saying down the road, do you think we'll ever get to that point where they can include that?
No, because they're never going to put that because they're never going to let you be able to do that, circumvent the cap that way.
How about who doesn't have the cap?
Baseball.
How about baseball? Doing that down the road to entice a player to sign with a team.
They're not going to, because you're making it unfair for teams that are worth more money.
Yeah, but they may not be willing. Let's say the White Sox are battling the Yankees for a player, and they're both going to offer Mike Trout $50 million a year. I'm talking about, just crazy numbers. And the White Sox say, we're also going to give you 1% of the of the whatever, the annual income of the team. I mean, could they do that down the road? When you're talking about actors, I never thought that would happen, where the actors would be getting percentages of the films. I don't think back in the 30s and 40s those stars were getting that. Maybe they were, but I don't know. I don't think they were getting percentages. They were probably just getting a straight salary.
Well, no, it was when agents finally realized that, like, wait, we can make more money by doing it this way.
Yeah.
Like because the movies started doing, when you're starting to get $500-600 million. I mean, when movies weren't making very much, what was the use of the percentage? Once movies started going 100, 200, 300, 400 million dollars, I was like, wait a second, we need to do this differently because you're better off getting a percentage of what these movies are making rather than just taking this fee, especially if you are a superstar actor whose movies are always going to do that level.
Right.
You're pretty much guaranteed it's going to do 100 million. And chances are it's going to do 200, 300, 400 million.
Right. But I wonder who that first agent was to step up and do that, because again, these are independent contractors. These actors, they're all part of a guild, but they're all individuals. By the way, Tiger Woods has announced that he has committed to the first 2 FedEx Cup playoff events. Surprise, surprise.
I can't find any numbers on what Hanks is making for this movie, but I can tell you Tom Cruise made, back in 2005, $100 million for War of the Worlds.
$100 million for War of the Worlds?
Another $100 million for Mission Impossible 2 in 2000.
How much of it did he give to the Scientologists?
Tom Cruise's
can you look that up? No, I'm kidding.
Tom Cruise's estimated worth is $570 million.
Man.
He is the according to this list I'm looking at here from something, he is the, I believe, wealthiest actor. Oh, no, he's number 2. Oh, the king of Bollywood dude is worth more. But of
really?
actors we know here, he is $570 million.
All right. One other thing before we head to the break, and we have
George Clooney is only worth $500 million.
That's it. We got our
Poor
four-man
guy.
scramble coming up after the break. We'll make our picks for the Wyndham Championship. If you want to be a part of it, then all you have to do is call in, pick one of us, myself, Eli, Keith Penke, or Jay Hasselman, and hope that the players that we pick earn the most money. Then you get your $20 gift card to Edwin Watson. Will be entered into the grand prize drawing of Golf for Four at beautiful Ridgeway Country Club. So dial in right now, 360-8255. I did want to mention this. Gary Parrish tweeted this out yesterday, and this is something that I thought all along could happen from day one when it was announced that Taylor Jenkins was taking over as head coach of the Grizzlies. Because I asked the question during the press conference about a woman hired for his coaching staff. And there's nothing official yet, but Gary had tweeted this out yesterday. Notre Dame women's basketball associate head coach. I don't know if it's Neil Ivey, Niele Ivey. I'm not familiar with her, but according to Gary, has emerged as a serious contender for Jenkins' staff with the Grizzlies. So we'll keep an eye on that. That would not surprise me in the least.
Again, if you do want to get in for the four-man scramble, now is your opportunity to do so at 360-8255. There's only a few weeks remaining now for you to get into that drawing to win Golf for Four at Ridgeway Country Club, an opportunity you just don't get very often to go play Ridgeway Country Club and do it with 3 of your friends as well. So get in now, 360-8255 to be a part of our four-man scramble. Before we take the break, tell you about Fleet Feet, the place to go for all your running gear, especially getting shoes that are just right for you. They'll do it for you at Fleet Feet, 2 locations in East Memphis and the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Not far at all from Jay Hasselman and the folks at Edwin Watts. Right there, Poplar Perkins Extended, next to Panera Bread Company. They got the Collierville location, which is at Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to the Hueys. They'll get you in there, look at the way you run or walk, and get you shoes that are perfect for you to make sure you are having no issues running, walking, getting in all your workouts. Plus, you could get involved with their group runs, like their monthly pub run series, training programs, and other things they do at Fleet Feet. FleetFeetMemphis.com is the website to find out what they've got going on at Fleet Feet.
All right, the scramble is next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports Time with Rollo and Stacks. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Frontier Western Store's world-famous boot showroom is waiting for you. With aisles and aisles of boots in one easy spot, you will find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Everyone loves Ariat boots, and Frontier has over 1,000 pair in that brand alone. Come grab a pair of rugged work boots like the Workhog, or discover an everyday classic in Ariat's Rambler. Tons of other brands as well: Rocky, Dan Post, Red Wing, Durango, Justin, Twisted X, and many more. Frontier constantly restocks and refreshes their lineup of boots, so you're certain to walk out of the store happy in your new comfortable footwear. They have a wide assortment of sizes available for men, women, and children. Work, dress, or play, Frontier's knowledgeable staff will cheerfully help you find the perfect fit. It's boots galore at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road, Olive Branch, or on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated, you know it, since 1967.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays, presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:28 is the time, our final half hour today. Stay tuned after our show. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour will come your way starting at 1 o'clock. It is Wednesday. It's time for the Scramble.
It's time for the Sports 56 Middays four-man scramble. Joining Greg and Eli are Keith Penke from Ridgeway Country Club and Jay Hasselman from Edwin Watts. Here are Greg, Eli, Keith, and Jay with this week's four-man scramble.
It is indeed time for the four-man scrambles. We recap what happened last week in Memphis at the WGC. We'll make our picks for the Wyndham Championship. Let's bring on the other members of the four-man scramble. First of all, it is Jay Hasselman from Edwin Watts. Hello, Jay.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Doing great. And Keith Penke from Ridgeway Country Club joins us. Hi, Keith.
Yes, sir. Ready for a big week.
Keith is hot again. He started the year hot. He's gotten hot again.
I do everything in three. So
That's right.
I'm guaranteed.
Had a three-peat to open the year, including making over $2 million in the second week. Now he's won 2 straight weeks with getting $2 million in the second of those weeks. So we'll see if he can do another three-peat here. But Keith was the winner last week at $2.3 million for the week. Greg at $626,000. I had $583,000. Jay with $440,000. So congratulations to Austin, who was the winner. Not Austin Eldridge. Austin was the one who had Keith last week. So for the year now, it's tightened up, other than Jay. Greg at $10.8 million. I'm at $9.7. Keith is at $9.1. And then Jay's got $5.3.
How many more weeks? We doing it right through the playoffs?
4 weeks this week, and then the 3 playoff weeks remaining. So, again, folks are running out of time. We need one more.
Getting nervous.
We need one. We got an opening for one more at 360-8255. 360-8255. Who do they get? Who's left?
Greg is left.
Oh, that was good. I figured Jay was left.
The leader is left.
They get Greg. So somebody could call in and get Greg for your opportunity to get a $20 gift card to Edwin Watts and golf for 4. Maybe get golf for 4 at Ridgeway Country Club. Well, Jay, what did you think of what was a great week last week here in Memphis?
You know, I thought the tournament, to get that leaderboard and get that final grouping, it couldn't have gone much better, I don't think. It looked, I was only out there for a little bit, but it looked like the crowds were awesome. I thought everybody on TV, it came off good. You didn't hear a lot of people yelling stupid stuff. I don't know how it could have gone much better, short of Tiger Woods playing.
Keith?
I agree. We were out there all day Thursday and had a blast. You could get around. You could see the players move around. Everybody was excited. From the moment I parked my car and hopped out of the car, everybody that parked around us, because there was a line of cars going in the lot we parked in, everybody popped out and was just excited. It was just so fun. And then Sunday, we were there all day Sunday. Sunday was a lot harder. We were lucky we had at a house, and
we tried to get out and watch a little bit. And you couldn't move. I mean, there were times you would try to get from one green to a tee box or whatever, and you get stuck. So we pretty much stayed and watched in the one place. But Thursday was a lot of fun, and I agree with Jay. I mean, everybody was excited. I personally couldn't see it going any better than it was. The weather was perfect. The play was great. I couldn't imagine any more crowd. You would not have been able to move.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. We'll talk about this in a second. The schedule for next year could be conducive to bring in that guy named Tiger, and what it would mean, even a bigger crowd, because it would definitely be a bigger crowd, what it would mean for this tournament. But Jay, not too shabby to have in your final pairing Rory and Brooks. Unfortunately, one of the downers was Rory didn't have his game on Sunday, and Brooks just put on the accelerator and ended up winning going away. But not bad to have those two and to have as your champion the number one player in the world.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I saw most of the end on television, and to hear him say the nice words he said about TPC Southwind and the nice things he said about what it means to be the champion here, and to the whole deal with St. Jude and what it meant to him to go down there and see those kids. I mean, the tournament came out looking really, really good, I thought.
Yeah, that's the thing. He has become a big time ambassador for this tournament. I mean, he talks about how much he loves it. He called the course his favorite course on tour. I mean, and really, Keith, all of these guys, every time, a lot of the first time guys, they rave, especially about the greens, but really the course overall.
Yeah, I mean they did. Other than Nick Faldo on TV, other than him, I mean I'd never heard a negative word. I mean Faldo comes on the air Friday and just was saying how easy the golf course was, and you could tell he was bitter. But other than that, I mean the players did. I mean McIlroy said it on Saturday in his interview after he shot his 62. He said these greens are as good a greens, if not the best greens we play on tour. He said only Augusta Nationals greens are better, and then he said all you got to do is get the ball started on line and it's going in the hole, and that's what a lot of people said. And you could see it. I mean, on Thursday when I was watching a couple of groups, I mean, I watched Cabrera Bello. I mean, I watched him 3-putt from literally 8 feet away on 17, and he looked like he barely hit it, and it went by and had a 5-footer coming back. I mean, the golf course looked good on the blimp. It looked good when you were on property. I think the only fairway that was didn't look as great with 3, but other than that, I mean, you could barely see a blade of grass out of place. It was perfect. It was a great week.
I saw a lot of guys struggle on the greens at 12. Jordan Spieth 4-putted. Saw DJ one round, 4-putt. I don't understand why Nick Faldo said that. It wasn't. I mean, certainly the conditions were conducive to scoring, but I think in the end it proved its merit. It's a tough course.
Yeah, he was different Saturday and Sunday. I don't know if y'all watched telecast. Saturday, he was talking more, how they tucked the flags and made the golf course more difficult. And then even Sunday, you could tell Sunday he changed his tune. But, I was very surprised when I heard that on Friday. But yeah, I mean, it is. It's an open golf course. And even Sunday, the wind started kicking up. And that's what it takes. I mean, if we get, next year on July 4th weekend, if we get a kind of a blustery, which is tough to get in the summer, but a blustery, weekend or something. I mean, this golf course is going to show its teeth, and you're not going to see a -16 win next year.
Well, and I see him, coming off of Thursday. You had the 8 under, you had the 62. I could see where, but at Thursday they didn't do much with the pins. Like it was there absolutely for the taking Thursday. They realized with the softer cores and with no wind, they could do some different things with the pins, and they really did toughen it up, I thought, for the next 3 days, Jay.
Well, and let's face it, I mean, these are the 50 best players in the world.
Yeah.
Someone's going to shoot. I mean, people shot 62 in majors last year. Mm-hmm. There's been 63. Shane Lowry shot 63 at Portrush, and nobody talked about how easy it was.
Exactly. They're just good.
These guys are really, really good, and there's always going to be that outlier. It wasn't like they had 63 and 464s, and I think you got to let the tournament play out and see how it ends up before you start talking about how easy something is.
So next year, 4th of July weekend, and the great thing about the schedule being condensed because of the Olympics is that you have a week between the U.S. Open and the WGC, and then another week before you get to the Open Championship. So it seems like it's a perfect schedule.
Oh, perfect.
Right? Now there is one caveat. The Irish Open is the week after the WGC, or the week is it the same week as
same week.
Same week as the WGC. And now there's talk about them possibly looking to move their schedule because you would think most guys would want to play the WGC over the Irish Open, although some will head over and prepare for the Open Championship. So if they move, it's really, really perfect. But I think next year is a chance to – you had 45 of the top 50, which is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, barring any unforeseen off-the-course issue or any injuries, we may get everybody, including one Tiger Woods. What do you think about that, Keith?
I mean, you look at the schedule, you got the Travelers the week before, and then you got the John Deere the week after. So like you said, I mean, those two tournaments aren't going to pull people away, and so you got that break. And, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I mean, I could just see some major fireworks on the golf course, not only in play, but, just have a party around the event, and, the whole weekend. It's just get people to stay kind of in town. And not go to the lake, so the golf courses around town will be busier as well. I mean, it's just going to be great next year, and I agree. This is our chance to really get the top 50 and get all 50 instead of 45 of the 50, and our chance to get Tiger Woods. I mean, it's if we do, I mean, it'll be off the chart.
I don't know how
I'm
they're
going
going
to go ahead and say now Tiger Woods is not coming. I was so optimistic this year. I'm just going to be negative.
Go opposite.
Well, yeah, Tiger Woods hates. Yes, he's not coming.
The whole question is going to be his health. Now, the good thing will be that leading up to it, there won't be. Where's the U.S. Open next year?
In Wingfoot, up in New York, obviously.
Okay, so it shouldn't be. He shouldn't have to deal with any cold weather tournaments leading. He shouldn't have any issues as long as. But I just don't know how healthy he's ever going to be again.
No, I mean, you got the Memorial at the beginning of June, then you got a week off for, because of the Canadian Open, and then you got the U.S. Open, so you could play Memorial, take a week off, play the U.S. Open, take a week off, play the WGC, take a week off, play the Open, take a week off. I mean, it's just schedules out perfect.
There was an event that our friend David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal had tweeted this out the other day, that there is an event that is happening the Monday and Tuesday after the WGC, but it's over in Ireland or England, wherever it was. And I'm trying to find this now as I talk to you guys. But it's a 2-day thing where, here it is, Tiger, Rory, Phil, DJ, Sergio, Rose, Rahm, Lowry, Kuchar, all committed to this thing for next year. It's called the J.P. McManus Pro-Am, and it's in Limerick. And they say that it's a 2-day event that starts hours after our event in Memphis because of the time difference. I would think that they are either going to try to figure out a way to move that thing, or these guys will have to because remember, they committed to this thing before they even knew what the schedule was going to be. I cannot see these guys bailing out of a WGC because they committed to something that's this 2-day event in Ireland.
I guess depending on what they're getting paid to go over there will be the only kicker.
Yes, that's something, that they threw out there. David that tweeted out, and I just, I looked at that and kind of, had that look on my face like, wait a minute here. But again, maybe they'll reschedule because there is a report on the BBC.com, that the Irish Open is possibly looking at they're definitely looking at possibly moving their schedule. And if they move their schedule, maybe they will move that schedule as well, because that you don't want that to happen, certainly, when we have a chance next year, as we just talked about, to get all 50.
The thing is this too, though. I mean, yes, they all have more money, but they the more money than they could ever use, but they still like to win more, and
they like to win prestigious events.
With the fact that you throw in not just the money that goes with the World Golf Championship, but the FedEx Cup points. I mean, and the fact that now, we just saw Koepka win the extra $2 million bonus for the Wyndham Rewards. Plus, he's going to be in position to be, number one going into a thing basically to play for, $10 million at the end of that. I mean, I don't think you would pass up those points and everything else that could go with the WGC to go play in something that's going to get you, maybe some money, but it ain't going to get you in line for the other money.
Well, they all have sponsors too, and their sponsors. I mean, there's expectations for these guys to play in the biggest events too, as part of their deal with their sponsors. So, there's some of that to consider too. I mean, the thing in Ireland or wherever that is I'm sure that guy is somebody that's good buddies with Rory and some of those guys. But I mean, I can tell you, Nike and TaylorMade and Callaway. I mean, those sponsors are going to put some heat on these guys to be, at the biggest events like this.
That's a great point, Jay. I think you're right.
A lot of eyeballs on TV.
Good points. I can't pick players, but I can make some good points.
Well, that is. Well, you definitely cannot pick players. That is proven. And we will prove it once again right now. You do have the first pick this week, Jay. It'll be Jay. Then
we can have it, Jay.
Greg will be second. I will be third. Keith will be fourth. Keith looking for another three-peat. He has 5 wins on the year. I have 4. Greg has 4. Well, Greg has 3. Austin has 1. And then Jay has 3. So you do have 3 wins still, Jay. At least you got that going for you.
Which is nice.
But my wins have all been because y'all have been terrible those weeks. It hadn't been so much my dominant picking. I'm in a funk.
Well, who are you going to take first? I mean, this
Wes Simpson.
Yeah,
guy.
I was going to say, like, this one, I don't think you can take anybody else.
You have to, don't you? Yeah. And sure enough, he'll probably hurt his Achilles or something.
It's his home, or he's at home for this. He's coming off a good performance here. Like, I would think he would have to be the guy. Greg,
I will take. I'm going to take.
It gets tough.
It does, yeah. I'm going to take Billy Horschel. He played well in Memphis. You can back it up.
Well, he didn't really do a whole lot here, but the man shot 59 on this golf course last year, so I'll take Brandt Snedeker.
I forgot about the 59. That's right, he did.
59 in round 1 on his way to the win.
And he won, yeah.
Yep. So, hey, if you've shot 59 on a golf course, you must like that golf course, I would think.
Yeah.
Keith?
All right, I'm going with the old Jordan C. Keith with C. And then I'm going to take a little Matsuyama.
It's only right that you get back to getting your guy Jordan Spieth.
I watched him last week. It was fun to watch him on the range.
They said he's figured some things out with his golf swing, too. It'd be fun to see because he's not inside the FedEx Cup number right now, is he? You mean to get in the playoffs at all? Right.
No,
he's in the top 125 right now.
He's in the playoffs. He wants to improve his chances to be able to make the Tour Championship. That's why I think he got into this.
I mean, you get rid of 2 triple bogeys, 2 double bogeys, and he's right up there in win land almost. I mean, come on.
Dustin Johnson, I mean, that's,
Yeah, Dustin Johnson had a weird tournament here, man. He was all over the place.
He was birdie bogey, birdie bogey, birdie bogey, birdie bogey.
Well, you took Matsuyama. I'll take the guy who kind of sounds like that and is red hot. I'll take Morikawa. Colin coming off his win.
The other day, man, he's pretty fun to watch.
He is top 5 in his last 3 tournaments. He's played 6 tournaments. His last 3, he's been in the top 5, including a win.
That was the fun thing last week.
Imagine walking out of college and 6 weeks later, you probably got $3 million in the bank.
It's not bad.
Be a pretty good feeling.
And a brand new girlfriend.
Him and Matthew Wolff are doing all right out of college.
Man.
My pick?
Yeah.
Victor Hovland.
Speaking of guys right out of college, he hasn't won. He's the only one of the 3 that hasn't won. So maybe
I thought about going with all the college guys, but I'm not going to. But I am going to pick Matthew Wolff, and I'm going to pick Lucas G. Lover.
Oh, gosh darn it! I thought I could get him. He's got a great track record in this tournament.
He can just keep his wife from beating him up. He should do well.
Wow.
Okay, I am going to go with. I'm going to go with Scott Piercy.
I will take Cameron Smith.
You turkey. You turkey. All right, I guess I'll take Paul Casey.
Hey, I was going to say Casey's still sitting there on a tee. Mighty
I
Casey.
want a Cameron Smith.
So Jay with Simpson, Wolf, and Glover. Greg with Horschel, Hovland, and Piercy. I have Snedeker, Morikawa, and Smith. And Keith has Spieth, Matsuyama, and Casey.
All right, Jay, tell everybody about Edwin Watts.
Well, we just got in some new product from Ping. They've got some new wedges, the Glide 3.0. It's the 3rd rendition of their wedges, which have been great wedges. They've improved the spin rates on these, made them a little softer. They look great, so we've got those in stock. Should have a bunch of new products coming in the upcoming weeks, so it's fun time. You don't think of fall and late summer as a time for new product, but there's going to be a lot of new stuff in the next 30 days, so come by and check all of it out.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you.
Go visit Jay and the gang over at Edwin Watts. That's at Poplar and Perkins Extended. And go visit Keith at Ridgeway Country Club. What's happening at Ridgeway, Keith?
Ridgeway Country Club is the place to be. I tell you, families, this is the place to come. Avid golfers, this is the place to come. We've just got an absolute beautiful facility. We were talking about family night today. Every Thursday we do family night. We've got a clown that comes out. We've got a magician comes out and does a show some weeks. So if you're looking for a place to go when you join Ridgeway Country Club, you can come on out and enjoy family night. We've got the most beautiful pool in Memphis. It's just like being at a resort with an outdoor bar with TVs. We have staff that comes by and serves you beverages and food while you're sitting by the pool, and just absolutely perfect. And the golf course. I mean, this is one of the nicest golf courses in Memphis, and just such a fun golf course to play because it's playable. You can go out there and just enjoy yourself and not feel like you're getting beat up all the time. But if you want to play from the tips, you can get beat up. But anyway, just visit us on our website at ridgewaycountryclub.com, or feel free to come on out and let me give them a tour around this beautiful facility.
Thank you, Keith.
It's good that you have Jay Hasselman with his side job as a clown coming out there and entertaining.
I was going to say that.
I think he looks great in the makeup.
You beat me to it. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it. I was going to say that. I was like, am I going to be cruel and say that about Jay? Like a clown. They must be the only country club with a clown.
I mean, I've heard like a putt-putt golf trying to put it through the clown's mouth. I've never actually seen an actual clown out at the golf course. I've seen people act like clowns at the golf course. Saw one with Ian Poulter the last week. I've never seen an actual clown, though, at the golf course.
We got a beautiful 18-hole course. We got tennis courts and all kinds of great food and all these things. We got a clown. Sign me up.
He said they also have a magician sometimes. I've seen some people at some scrambles become magicians with their scorecard, make some strokes disappear in a hurry.
That's always the biggest thing with scrambles, man. There's always cheaters out there.
Yeah, let's not go in that direction, but you're absolutely right.
I'm just saying.
It's hard to beat the pencil.
What was your final score? Well, we shot a 41.
I mean, when you're coming in with 20 under par in 18 holes, 22 under par,
no mulligans, no this,
no
that.
amateur golfers that good. Come on,
absolutely. All right, we'll take a break. Come back and wrap it up with one final thing. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
This is the sound of at Koala Mama 85 asking DQ to bring back the Snickers Blizzard. And this is the sound of us making the Snickers Blizzard and the all-new peanut butter pie Blizzard made with Snickers. And this is the sound of 5,157 happy Snickers Blizzard lovers saying OMG, smile emoji, praise hands, thank you, exclamation point, praise hands, praise hands. That's what a Snickers Blizzard sounds like. And it's back with the all-new peanut butter pie Blizzard made with Snickers.
DQ, happy tastes good.
Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Adios, old friend. Yeah, I've got no secrets and no regrets. Well, a lot of regrets, but the point is I've got nothing to hide. Kind of like the way Progressive shows you their competitors' rates. You gotta put it all out there, baby. Excuse me, miss. Does this heart belong to you? Would you like it anyway?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparisons not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work, and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again,
our Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
Well, she was an American girl, raised on
Welcome back, everybody. Final few minutes here on Sports 56 Middays, the final show in the month of July. We will be back here tomorrow starting at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, among our guests, Tyler Horkin is going to join us, who is the Mississippi State beat writer from the Clarion Ledger. So we'll get in-depth on Mississippi State and Joe Moorhead's second year with the Bulldogs.
About just over 2 hours now from the Major League Baseball trade deadline. We'll see what happens over the next 2 hours. Although, so far, all deals have been very minor. Other than, I guess, Trevor Bauer deal is a big deal, except for he didn't go to a contender. And Marcus Stroman didn't go to a contender. So the two biggest names traded didn't go to contender. So it doesn't really, it's hard to consider major deals.
Right. They were both strange in their own right. We'll see if either one of those teams flip those players, or if not, the Mets looking at their rotation for next year, especially if they don't trade Noah. You got Syndergaard, DeGrom, and now you add Stroman to it. And Bauer's he's your top guy if you're Cincinnati and you're thinking about next year. He all of a sudden becomes your ace.
The Cubs traded Martin Maldonado, who they acquired like last week. Now they traded him to the Astros for former Vanderbilt standout Tony Kemp.
Who'd you say? Actor Martin Mull they traded away?
Martin Maldonado.
Oh, okay.
I can't think it's Martin. I don't know. He played like 2 games. I don't remember what his first name was.
I think it's pronounced Martin, actually.
Is it? I don't know.
Martin Maldonado.
I
thought he already played for the Cubs. That's how far off I was. I thought he was their backup catcher.
He was for a week.
Okay, well, and that's where I got that from.
Yeah, they traded for him when Wilson Contreras went on the injured list. And then once Contreras came back, they didn't need him. They don't need 3 catchers. And so now they've traded him to the Astros. So he's on his third team in literally, I guess it's been 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks in the three teams. But good for him. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Well, it's a good thing the Yankees have a lot of Bronx bombers, if you will, because one of them is now back on the injured list. It's the former Redbird/Cardinal Luke Voit. The first baseman headed back to the injured list with a sports hernia, according to skipper Aaron Boone. He will need surgery. On the year, Voit hitting .278 with 19 home runs and 54 runs batted in 94 games. So it's a bit of a hit for the Yankees, but offensively, they're in great shape.
So the Houston Rockets made a couple of roster moves today, both with Memphis ties. According to The Athletic, they have waived 2 guys. One, Chris Chiozza, former
White Station, yeah, and University of Florida standout.
The other, really sad, Deontay Davis, cut from another team.
If you're scoring
at such a legendary career,
I'm not sure.
If you're scoring at home, is that 4 or 5 teams now for Deontay Davis?
He's Grizzlies, Sacramento. Did Sacramento ever actually sign him to a deal with the Kings?
Not sure. Golden State.
That was he a 2-way deal with them? I don't remember what his deal was.
I think it was a 2-way deal with Golden State. He's 4 or 5 teams.
Atlanta waived him last, and now the Rockets have let him go. Not sure Deontay is going to get another opportunity. I think Deontay may want to look overseas at this point. It's probably his best option, unless he just wants to continue to grind it out in the G League, see if he can earn another call-up.
I still remember with Deontay Davis, the story where he was at one of the Walgreens there on Union, and some woman either didn't have money or couldn't pay for whatever, and he just picked up her bill. And I thought to myself, man, and this was his rookie year. And I remember, man, that was sweet. That was really nice. So I was kind of just seeing that kind of pulled on the heartstrings, and I was really rooting for the guy. But he just – the problem with Deontay Davis
it will go down as his biggest contribution to Memphis.
Yeah, he just didn't seem to have any energy. I don't know if that he wasn't committed to the game of basketball. He never seemed to have a motor, and that was an issue. Brett McMurphy reporting that the University of Arkansas and the University of Utah have come to an agreement on a home-and-home series. In 2026, they'll play in Utah, and in 2028 at Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. So the Utes and the Razorbacks. That's a nice little non-conference two-gamer between the Utes and the Razorbacks. So I'm sure Razorback fans will love that. Maybe they'll make a trip in 2026 out to, where's it? They play Salt Lake City? Where's Utah's home base?
They are.
It's not Salt Lake City, is it?
No, they're in.
It's not Ogden. That's Utah State.
I can't.
Provo's BYU.
I can't remember where they are.
Maybe it is Salt Lake City.
I don't think it was. Maybe it is. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it is Salt Lake City, for goodness sakes. I did a damn game out there for the Alliance at their stadium. I should know that. And the Express played out there.
Oh, they played in Utah Stadium?
Yeah, and a beautiful, beautiful backdrop. Really beautiful setting. So maybe the Razorback fans do want to go out there. Big thanks to Doug Barron, Mike Claiborne, Keith Benke, and Jay Hasselman for joining us on the program today. Again, we're back tomorrow starting at 10 o'clock. Stay tuned. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour is coming up next. For Tyler Springs and Eli Savoy, I'm Greg Gaston. Enjoy the rest of your
Am I Tyler Springs now? Did my name change?
Did I say Tyler Springs?
Wow, that's a high compliment.
Austin Eldridge. Mike, where'd I get Tyler Springs from?
Oh,
we love
wait,
Tyler.
hold on now.
Thank you, Austin.
Trying
Have a
to fire
great
me,
day,
Greg?
everybody.
Bill, friend, you keep your pills, 'cause it's all the way.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I have found people sometimes choose their real estate agent in the most unusual way. Well, the agent down the street sold that house so they can sell mine. Or, my relative is brand new in the business and I want to help them. Or, my friend sells real estate on the side and will give me a good deal on commission. These are all valid considerations, but after all my years in the real estate business, the advice I give people is interview 2 to 3 agents. Find out what they think about your home, how they would price it, and what they suggest you do to prepare to make the most for your home. Last, when interviewing agents, make sure that I am one of the brokers you speak with. Find out how my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option can mean the difference in whether you sit or sell. Also find out why people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Done. You can reach me at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. I've got great news. Mortgage interest rates have dropped. So if you're